Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show today. Very happy to have you here. Hopefully, everybody had themselves a good weekend. Mine was, pretty busy actually. I had a lot of family stuff I had to do, but it was nice. It turns out that the my wife's father, he's turning 88. Yeah. And in Japan, that's a special year, and it's supposed to be very lucky and auspicious and yada yada yada. And they have a big party, and they bought him a very nice present in the form of a Seiko watch. We all kind of pitched in for it, but yeah, it was nice. Went and had some good food, and the whole family showed up, which has been a while. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, it is interesting. I live in a country where 88 is a thing, years old, a thing that actually exists in the form of special holidays. Wow. I mean, most Americans are dead by what, 70? What's the average life expectancy in America, Thrill?
Um, Let me check. Um,
I don't think it's 88.
for men, 79.25.
It's better. It's getting better. It's better. Yeah. But yeah, they
Woman,
actually, yeah.
and for woman, 80.2.
80.2. Well, it's definitely up from when I was in the States. But yeah, in Japan, 88 it's a thing that people attain. And of course, there's a lot of people in their 90s in Japan, large numbers. We have 100 some
Yeah,
odd year
because,
old people, quite a bit too. But
yeah, because you don't add 20,000 chemicals to your food, your water, and your air.
don't add any. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like how many chemicals are in our food that are banned in Japan?
Oh,
All these
probably a lot.
dyes, preservatives. It's
Japanese
like,
wouldn't
oh,
buy them
Americans are
anyway.
stupid.
Yeah, no, I think one of the
Yeah.
things that helps here in Japan is the Japanese actually read the nutritional value of their food. They actually pay attention to it. Um, whereas I don't know how many Americans actually do that. Um, yeah, it's just a thing. They're just a little bit more conscientious here about those kind of things, particularly when it's in regard to their children, right? But also, they have you know, health, and they get out there and exercise their kids, and they tend to do stuff throughout their lives, and they don't eat as much as we do. All of their food stuff is set up in a much smaller portion style of eating than we do, right? So yeah, I don't know. It's just a combination of things, but I think it's just simply focusing on and caring about health. So.
Because people think that the FDA is protecting us so that we don't need to worry about reading this stuff.
Government? No, we don't want. We don't never trust the
Yeah, but you
government.
know how it's Democrats. Oh, we need another government agency.
We need another
Why?
one.
You're not
Yeah,
gonna do anything.
yeah. Well, that's
It's
definitely
like I
we.
hope they don't do well.
Well,
Because
we.
those need to punish not only government agencies but all the corporations that lie to them.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, we went through all the government agencies that the government thinks they have. They're not quite sure if that's the total though, which is shocking. But we did go through it, if you guys remember. It's outrageous, and hopefully we'll get somebody in here uh, in the name of Mr. Trump that will, knock that down to a manageable handful size of, I don't know, maybe 10. 10 sounds like a good round number
I
to
mean, like,
me.
oh, but if they get education, then everyone will get dumber. Oh yeah, because
Uh, yeah.
they're not doing it already because people aren't getting dumber after decades of this stupid thing being around.
Yeah, well, the thing is, if we go back and take a look at the test, see we've had several tests. The 60s was a test when it comes to welfare. That failed horribly. And Of course, the various DEI initiatives of the 60s, which, if you thought they were new, you haven't been paying attention. And Of course, they failed. But Jimmy Carter's Board of Education, yeah, we can compare before and after. We have the data. Yeah. And it turns out, no, Federal Board of Education hasn't helped. Matter of fact, it seems to have hurt.
Yeah, but the thing is, Trump wants to do it, and so does his like, so it's bad, it's bad, it's bad, it's bad, it's bad. Trump's a liar. It's like, oh, right, because Biden and Harris aren't.
Well,
I mean,
we don't need it.
overall, the Bill
Yeah,
Clinton lied under oath.
yeah, but we don't need any politician's opinion. We don't have to listen to Trump or Biden or any of them. You don't have to. Just look at the data. Data is quite clear.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Honestly, a lot of times it's probably not better not to listen to a politician at all. Just go see what information you can find otherwise, and that includes Trump. I mean, he has become a politician, so it's not like you're going to have everything 100% everything's going to be perfect. I mean, he's told you he's made mistakes. So let's look at the data ourselves and make a discerning have a discerning opinion, which is something that seems to be as endangered as the dodo these days. Now I feel happy mentioning the blue-footed dodo. I haven't mentioned them in whew, decades. Poor dodos. You don't know the story of the dodo, huh? Okay, just me. I get it.
Are you talking
Nevertheless,
about just the boat or something else?
what was that?
Are you talking about the dodo boat or something else?
Yeah, the dodo bird, the blue-footed dodo. Yeah, they went extinct.
Yeah, the one that got killed by dogs.
Yeah, yeah, that one. Yeah, it was a big old kind of penguiny type thing. There are a lot of kind of ground-dwelling birds. People forget that birds are just kind of the evolution of dinosaurs, right? And A lot of dinosaurs didn't fly. And The ones who flew have become the most successful, obviously. But there were a bunch of them. But As humans started moving around the planet and running into these places and bringing our pets with us and our rats and all that kind of stuff, they all kind of got wiped out. They don't. Seems that ground birds don't do very well against predators.
Mm. Also, pterosaurs are not dinosaurs.
Well, I mean, I'm making the general anatomical observation that their bone structures and stuff are the same, is what I'm saying. I know that
Because that's the
argument will
funny
go
thing
on
about Power
forever,
Rangers
but
when he spends all that thing that you get the power of dinosaurs. It's like only two of them are dinosaurs.
are you talking
I
about
also hate the fact
Power
that
Rangers? Yeah.
yeah, because like I said, he said they get the power of dinosaurs, but only the T Rex, the Triceratops, all the six of them are actually dinosaurs. It's like, oh, look at the dinosaur season. It's like not a dinosaur, not a dinosaur, not a dinosaur.
Fair enough. But I do know with Power Rangers, I went back. I was challenging myself some, I don't know, a decade and a half ago or something like that. Because every time I see Power Rangers, it's like the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's so stupid. And I was like, am I just being snobbish, right? Am I just being an adult elitist? So I went back and looked at the stuff I loved as a kid, and I compared it to see, because one of the things when you grow up, you don't realize that the stuff you love maybe wasn't as clever as you thought because you were a kid, right? I went back and checked, and I compared, and no, no, well, Power Rangers is stupid. I confirmed it.
Especially in this, but we're not here to talk about Power Rangers, anyways.
We could.
We're not
I
even
could
going to
talk
talk
about
about.
them for an hour if you'd like.
I don't know. What is the chat thing we should talk about?
Nah, definitely not Power Rangers. Dino Riders was underrated, says Dave. I seem to recall that slightly.
Yeah, the cartoon with the human-looking aliens and the reptile aliens, and they go back in time.
Yeah, let me see. Let me go check it out here. Dino Riders. It sounds very familiar. Yeah, that's
And then it was
yeah. I was in college at that time. That's probably why I don't know it.
what
Looks
was
like
the
they had a
name of
bunch
that
of toys
one?
though, huh?
Yeah, and then it was I think Return of the Dinosaurs.
That was like a follow up or a spin off.
No, completely different.
Oh,
That
completely
was
different.
more the vein of what was the name of that one show? Uh what's I'm trying to remember that one old show, the one that recently that like 5 years ago got a live action show, the Thunder what is
Thundercats?
it called? No, not Thundercats. It
No,
had a live action movie like 5 years ago. It was a rescue team. Thunderbolts, I think.
I don't know. I know we had Dino Saucers, which I'm looking at, which
I don't know that.
was pretty bad. It came out a year before your Dino Riders. But 4 years, a few years ago, we had a rescue. Now you're not talking about the Ducktales or the Chippendale or stuff like that, right?
No, I'm talking about like I said, Return of the Dinosaurs. Was it? I think if I remember correctly, it was stop motion.
I don't know, dude. I can check it. Return of the Dinosaurs. Um, TV show,
Yeah,
a TV reboot.
I think it's stop motion.
You mean the Dinosaurs TV show?
No, Return of the Dinosaurs.
No, I got nothing. Got nothing.
Really?
Yeah, nothing. Now he said Cadillac and Dinosaurs was better. I remember that one. Go check it out.
I think this is it. That's a bad. I hate when links to that thing.
I do remember Cadillac and Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. I remember this one. Looks like it had a comic book too.
And a video game, I believe.
Yeah, no, I see it right over here. Yeah, it's
Okay, I
interesting.
posted a link for the
You can just
Return
share
of
it
the
right
Dinosaur.
here. Well, this is
Oh,
not.
it's actually.
This is
Oh, it's
1983.
stop motion. Oh, it's stop motion and animation. I forgot about that.
Okay, so it's this one here. This is 1983. I don't know this one. Yeah, I don't know this one at all. Yeah,
Yeah.
but there seems to be a lot. But to be fair, I've never cared about dinosaurs. I've never cared about pirates. Uh, I'm not a big when it comes to animation and stuff. I'm not a big cowboy and Indian guy. Although I've certainly enjoyed plenty of Western movies in my life, but yeah, I'm not really big into dinosaurs and pirates. I was more in sword and sandals and sorcery and stuff like that.
So you like big, muscular, half-naked man running around saving hot, half-naked woman?
Yeah, that's that's right. I'm a red-blooded American. Anyway, although the dinosaurs TV show was great, that was funny, but that was very much in the vein of the Honeymooners, Flintstones, that kind of style. Although it was kind of funny the way they decided to end that show. They literally ended that show with the comet coming to wipe them all out.
No, I remember that.
Yeah, dark
That was
comedy.
dull.
Ma, it's a
I
comedy.
can't believe they actually went that around.
And it was dark, but that's all right. It was a good show though. I did enjoy it. That was Jim Henson,
Yeah,
I do
because
believe.
yeah, was it Watch Mojo? Somebody did it like the 10 August TV series endings, and that made the list.
The 10 dark, yeah, that might be a good list to take a look at.
I think it was Watch Mojo. I think they might have had Power Rangers Turbo as one of them because of the fact that that season ends with them losing their powers and the command center getting destroyed. But still, compared to the dinosaurs, that's nothing.
You said the Power Rangers Turbo?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the Metro leaves and never comes back. The one that replaces Zordon. And
Uh-huh.
then the command center gets destroyed and they lose their powers. It's like,
Oh, I
yeah,
see.
it's kind of dark, but not as dark as dinosaurs.
Well, they have a list here on Screen Rant, so I can take a look at it. So we have How I Met Your Mother. The mother was dead the whole time. That's interesting. I never watched that show. I know it was quite popular, but that's
Not the
interesting.
last season.
Well, it makes sense to me that How I Met Your Mother is kind of telling a kid, well, he doesn't have a mother, so he's explaining how I met her and telling the kid about the mom. It makes sense to me. But like I said,
Yeah,
I
the
didn't
whole
really
thing
watch.
was just so he can
What
get the permission to date Robin.
what? Say that again.
But then it's revealed he tells this story because he wants his kids' permission to date one of the other women they used to date.
Oh, that's the whole point. It makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah, the last season was not well received. And when they finally came out with the plan, How I Met Your Father, that thing only lasted 2 seasons. And I could not get through the first one.
Oh, I don't
It
really
has nothing to
watch
do with
TV.
it has nothing to do with How I Met Your Mother. It's a completely different story.
Yeah, but that is an interesting twist for the people who watched it. Saint Elsewhere, I do remember it. Don't think I ever saw a single episode. But what's wrong with this one here? I am M. Night Shyamalan-esque twist in an M. Night Shyamalan twist. None of it was real. The ups and downs of the fictional hospital Saint Elsewhere were really happening inside a child's snow globe. A sharp turn from the style and tone of the series up to this point, which was an inspiration for the realistic, rough around the edges procedural drama that dominated television sphere today. Okay, whatever. I don't
That
really care for those things.
stupid.
Although it gave you Denzel Washington, it gave you a bunch of people, but a bunch of famous people were in that show, but I didn't care. Yeah, yeah. True Blood was stupid, very stupid ending. My wife enjoyed this show, and I watched it with her. But this show went off the rails many times, not just one. It went off the rails just by making Sookie Stackhouse important at all, because it doesn't make any. I guess other than the fact that the fairy blood is tasty to vampires, I guess. But, ugh. But this show went off the rails a lot, and of course, it ended in the dumbest way. It's so stupid. They should have been ashamed of themselves the way they ended that. Game of Thrones, yeah, well, years of dumbassery, right? This show
Yeah,
was just dumb.
I gave up after a few seasons.
Yep,
The
me
books are
too.
better.
Well, no, the first 3 or 4 seasons were great. Some of the greatest TV I've ever seen. Really, really good. And then it just went real sour real quick. Oh well, it's the way the world we live in. The world we live in. So. Let's see here. Dinosaurs, yeah, we already talked about that. Lost, once again. This was something where the idea wasn't the interesting thing. They had no idea where they were actually going to go. It was just the idea. Yeah. And of course, they couldn't end it at all. But then again, yeah, J.J. Abrams is involved. What do you expect? Let's see. Marionette puppets. What do we kind of like? Let's see. Thunderbirds was marionette puppets, not stop motion. That's true. Um, I liked Disney's dinosaurs. Josh says, it was good. Um, Inside a Snow Globe classic. That's true. Um, and they're just talking to each other. But yeah, Lost. Did you watch any of that? That's another one my wife likes, so I saw it.
No, I never watched it.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Looks like that was a good thing.
well, the premise was interesting. The premise was interesting, but they had no idea how to actually end the story, how to tell the story. It was just It's one of these shows that just has an idea, and that's all they got, right? And they played on that for many years, like 8 years, was it? 8, yeah. So dumb. 13 Reasons Why. You ever heard of this?
I've heard of it, but I never watched it.
See, 13 Reasons Why it was never going to have a toe tapper ending. Okay. However, it leaves Clay, a recipient of one of the most traumatic high school experience a person can have, going off to college, start the rest of his life, an anticlimactic and borderline insensitive ending to a show that made its mark handling incredibly sensitive subject matter in a way that was criticized as being less than ideal. After a dark season that portrayed Clay's mental health as deteriorating quickly, not allowing Clay to deal with and address his trauma is almost darker than letting him wallow in it and then grow from his experience. I don't even know what this show's about. You didn't help me at all. I don't even know what your show's about. Anybody know what this show's about? What
I
it?
think this is based. I think it's connected to that one movie. What was the name of it? What was it? 13 Reasons. What was the name of that movie? Trying to remember the movie that it was related to.
Yeah, I don't even know. They're saying it's dark and unforgiving what they did to Dylan, Dylan's character here, Clay. But I don't even know what they did or even what the premise is. 13 Reasons Why I Met Your Mother. I don't know.
Mm.
Do you have any idea
No,
what
it's
this
based
show is?
upon. Oh, it's based upon a novel.
I do not. I'm just glad I got my mic to work.
Oh, hi. Yeah, glad you did
Hi.
too.
Hi. Hello. Oh, technology. And the worst part, Chester, is it's always something so stupid.
It
Every
is.
time.
It is. Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah. Always. Yeah.
Something that would be solved by just having another button. Usually like if there was just one other button for this exact thing, you would
Uh-huh.
never have this problem.
True.
But because we have to streamline everything into one or two buttons.
Well, we're on a premium for buttons. There's high tax on buttons.
Apparently
I heard Trump's
the
going to
buttons are.
tariff them. Well, I don't know. I don't.
But no, I have no idea what this show's about. I remember when it came out, people were all about it for a minute, but it's a Netflix show, so I don't care.
Yeah. Okay. We're not caring, chat. We're moving on. All right. The Sopranos. No one liked the. This is the one where the screen went to black, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just stopped.
My
in
cousin
mid-sentence.
was a diehard fan of that show, and he did not like that.
I saw a few episodes. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I did see a few episodes, and it was pretty good. I feel that Penguin was better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Now
yeah.
I saw all of this because my wife watched it. Yeah. Breaking Bad. I don't know if I don't think it ended badly. I think it ended as it should have.
Perfectly. I
Yeah.
thought it was a perfect ending.
Yeah.
I mean, you knew the guy's gonna die because let's face it, he had cancer.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was promised to us that he was dead from episode 1, wasn't it?
It
But
was indeed.
the little idiot that survived, I would have killed him too, though. But
Well,
yeah,
they tried desperately to make him the hero of the story,
no,
but
he's just a
he's very
junky asshole.
insufferable.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
insufferable.
and that's fine. I would have they both died in the room, right? That's the way I would have done it. But
Yeah, but then we have to load up all the gifts and everything.
Yeah. It was a good show though. I mean, I did watch it. Like I said, my wife watched it. And it was pretty well done. It was solid. It's a very bleak show in general. I mean, the absolute degradation of humanity, right? And I thought they
Oh, it's
showed that pretty
phenomenal.
well. Yeah.
Cranston's performance throughout the whole series is phenomenal.
It is.
Um,
Too bad he's an insufferable Wookiee.
yeah, he's a complete lunatic, but it's okay now because, like you said, we've all witnessed the usurpation when it comes to television performances by Mr. Colin Farrell. I don't know if anybody's surpassing that. That's the greatest acting I think I've ever seen in my whole life.
Yeah, he did a good
Him as the
job.
Penguin.
He did a good
It's
job. He did.
unbelievable.
Now The Wire, I did watch The Wire. I remember watching that. Once again, I think this is one I watched with my wife. But yeah, I don't think it had a bad ending. It was pretty well wrapped up, I think.
Oh, that show's that old. That's almost 20 years old.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Well, it ended almost 20 years ago. It is over 20 years ago, and I still hear people talk about this show, and I don't think I've ever seen a single episode.
Yeah. Yeah, it ended with the cops getting arrested and, there's your world, but that's very realistic. I mean, the line between criminal and law enforcement is very thin, and it often crosses that line, right?
Mhm.
Especially when money gets involved and you put the pressure on these. I mean, it's just an unfortunate situation because the way we set up our systems are just broken, right? I mean, when you have a situation where, especially in these cities, where these cops are overwhelmed, they're getting incredible amount of pressure to get these cases off the board, right? So they don't really care whether you're guilty or not. They just, if they can throw it up to the DA, then they want to do that so they can get it off the board, which is why you
Mhm.
never, ever speak to the police, ever. Never say a word. Just say, lawyer, please. And they'll say dumb bullshit to you like, oh, well, you're not arrested. Doesn't matter. You are allowed a legal attendee, even in conversations with cops. Understand that. That
Yep.
is your constitutional right. Never, ever speak to the cops. And I'm not saying all cops are bad. We know they're not. We need them. But the system is
Mhm.
broken because them trying to just get stuff off that board and throw it up to the DA is the problem. And then,
They
of
might
course,
not all be bad, but they're
no,
all assholes, so
they
don't trust
are
them.
because there's a lot of stress and there's a lot of stress in the
Yes.
job,
The
right?
job isn't easy, and they have to
No,
deal with assholes all day long,
all day
so they
long.
become assholes.
They become assholes.
It
That it's
I'm not
true.
mad at them for it, but at the same time, I'm not gonna be naive and walk into a
No, no, no,
situation where they
no.
can poop on me because 'cause they're
Never,
assholes.
never speak to cops.
No.
Always just say lawyer. Just say lawyer. And be patient. Don't be dumb.
And be
If
Yeah,
they're
be
going to
nice to
arrest you,
them.
let them arrest you.
Just
Go
say,
in there.
"Sorry, sir, I don't speak to police officers.
Hmm.
If you're gonna wanna keep talking to me, I'm gonna need a lawyer." That's it.
Yeah, it's
That's
very
all you gotta say.
simple. And don't be an asshole about it.
That's right.
Just be very matter of fact about it. But it's an unfortunate creation of the system. And then of course when
Yep.
it goes up to the DA, now you're dealing with a whole nother animal because you got
Oh, yeah.
all you have here is ladder climbers, right? And
Bureaucrats mostly.
yeah, well, yeah, but they all want to get on top, and they don't give a shit whether you're guilty or innocent. It's just can they get a win off of you, and they'll do it easily as quickly as they can because they don't
Mhm.
care about justice. Justice has nothing to do with anything when it comes to these people.
Yeah, the
Uh,
the system needs massive reform. We need to get the idea of a scoreboard out of it entirely.
yeah,
I don't really know how you do that. I'm
it's
sure
hard.
somebody smarter than me has figured it out, but it's so it breeds an incentive for them to just go after convictions, and that isn't what it should be about. It
No,
should be about
it
finding the
shouldn't.
truth
It
and
should.
getting
That's right. It
justice.
should be just as plain and simple.
Yep.
And it's kind of funny. We've had several people over the 20th and early 20th, 21st century that claim to have traveled into the future. Right
Mhm.
now,
That's true.
I'm not going to give any opinion on that. But they all seem to follow a very similar pattern what they said they saw. They talk about these wing makers, which are supposed to
Mhm.
be this kind of ultra Illuminati council. But they also mention that the world is run by computers and computers, which of course can't be corrupted, I suppose, make all the decisions in a very matter of fact way. But isn't that interesting? They all have kind of a similar little story in regards to that. Huh.
Well, interesting and terrifying.
And terrifying. Yes. Yes. But then again, the Wingmakers, there's a TFT. Boy, howdy. That one's pretty deep, actually.
It is.
Yeah.
It goes deep. It goes deep and wide.
Mm.
It's a. The world's crazy, Chester. We
It
live in a
is.
world of just complete nonsense, and our brains are so powerful it somehow makes sense of it. At least enough that we can function.
Well, at
It's one of
least it
those
creates
things
an
like, you know,
illusion.
the idea of like Cthulhu or whatever in Lovecraft stuff that if you just to look at him you go crazy. Our minds are we should be like that all the time. This world, the universe we live in is insane. It's just
Sure.
insane. But
Well, yeah.
yet here we are.
Yeah. No,
Here
our
we are.
ability to adapt is quite impressive. It's the most impressive things humans do. But I also think that's why Lovecraft's, Cthulhian or just the Lovecraftian form
In
was
general,
so
yeah.
effective. I mean, 'cause if you go read his stuff, and it's fine. I mean, I've read a lot of stuff in my life, but it's just so impactful because he kind of tapped into this natural psychoses of
Yep.
the human, I think. Um,
Primordial fear
yeah,
on a deep level.
yeah,
Yep.
that's the word. Yep. But they are fun though. Go have a read. But it's interesting. We had a lot of those great writers come out around that same time, right? We're all
Hmm.
buddies with each other, or not. I mean, Tolkien and his group was certainly different than Edgar Allan Poe and his group, and et cetera, et
Hmm.
cetera. But they did have groups and communicate. What the hell happened? Where's our great or group of writers today?
Well, maybe old JK's got a little group chat with some of them out there.
Maybe.
Maybe we're just not privy to it, Chester.
Well, the thing is, she catches a lot of flack on many sides because, you know,
She
the
has opinions.
well, the progressives hate her.
Hmm.
She is a feminist, so therefore she's hateable.
Hmm.
But I've read her stuff to my
Yeah,
kids.
they because they
Uh,
hate her because the Democrats and liberals hate her because she's a 12. Because
yeah,
liberals hate her because she was fully open, let in all those illegals into the UK.
yeah,
Yep.
she's detestable. I understand that. But the thing is, I'm trying to get at is I've read
At least
her
it's
books
not
to
as
my
bad as
kids. She's a pretty good writer, dude. I
She
mean, at
is
least
good
for
there.
kid stuff,
Yeah.
for YA stuff, she's a pretty
Well,
good
she
writer.
has more. Not, I won't say adult because adult implies nasty, filthy books, but she has more
Oh,
mature books
not
out
to
there
me.
too that are crime dramas. She has a whole series that she's written under a pseudonym that are crime dramas.
Right.
Uh, and I haven't heard bunk on those. I'm sure they're fine. I mean, she read a whole series of them. They must be selling somewhat. But yeah, so she's at least dipped her toes into it at a professional level, into writing less,
Mm.
wholesome, I guess you could call it stuff.
Well, I mean, adult doesn't mean sexual. But
Well, it does in books now, Chester. Unfortunately,
no.
the creepy, ugly women have taken over publishing, and if you're going to get anything even remotely not childlike, it's probably going to be dirty and real, like gross dirty, where you're having sex with
Well,
animals and all kinds of crazy shit.
the thing is funny about that is we see so many of these women going on and on about, my body, my choice,
Uh huh.
grape and all that other kind of stuff. But at the same time, some of the biggest selling female novels of all time are about graping and S&M and things you would think women would be appalled by.
Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's a bit weird. But anyway, she did set up Harry because he is a detective, a magical detective. So she
Hmm.
led herself into that because I didn't know about her other books. So I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen Harry the detective yet.
Well, nobody knew about her other books until I think she was outed by somebody that it was her writing under a pseudonym.
Hmm.
And yeah, but yeah, no, I have never understood why we didn't get that because that's supposedly the lore of Harry as he goes on to be basically a magic cop.
Yeah.
Uh, Okay, cool. Let's see that. I'd like to see
Yeah.
that. That sounds awesome. Why don't we get that? But no, because we have never. I mean, we've had a couple series, right, like Dresden or whatever. That's basically that, right? A magic cop. That's such a cool idea. It
Mhm.
should be.
Yeah.
It should be easy. It should, especially when you have that much lore and backstory and everything with Harry. And we already know he has a family. You don't have to play with any of that stuff. Like, there's so much you could do there. I don't know why she's never dipped her toes. Like, just try it. Just try it, old JK. Let's see what you got. Write a cool detective story for Harry Potter to solve.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
Well, I mean, like in particular with her, he becomes an aurora,
Mhm.
which means
Yeah.
to analyze the aura is what it means.
Right.
But yeah, I'm kind of surprised sitting here so many years later we haven't got it. Maybe they're just waiting for them to get a little old, Harry to get a little older. But I think he's old enough. Get Daniel in there and do a detective TV show, man. That would be great.
That could
No,
be cool.
no. They're not good. No. Most of those kids threw her under the bus.
They did. That's true.
Oh well, then pick someone else. I don't care. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying
Yeah.
the
Well,
concept.
now
There's plenty.
Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson are all terrible people. I think the
Yeah.
only one that didn't betray her was the girl that
Ron.
played Luna. And Luna. What's her name? Luna. The
Yeah,
one
Lovegood.
that's the wacky one.
The wacky
But of course,
one.
the thing is, she's wacky because she can actually see things that most
Well,
people can't.
She was so desperate to do whatever nonsense because she got political in her own storytelling, and that's on her, right?
Mhm.
I could see what she wanted to do, and she did it. She did the opposite for political reasons. Because who would Harry end up with? Well, Hermione would be the first choice, I guess. But Luna would be a good choice. The
Mhm.
little Asian girl, maybe. But certainly the last girl I would expect him to end up with is the one he ended up with. The little sister. That's just
Ginny?
creepy. It's just creepy.
Yeah. You don't do that.
What were you
Your
doing
best
when you were
friend.
over there, Harry? Hmm?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Little bit of
You
doctor
don't
there
you
with
don't
the
you don't
junior high school
screw your
girl?
best friend. You don't screw your best friend's sister.
No, you don't.
That's not cool.
No, you don't.
That's not cool.
No,
That's
that's a
not cool.
rule. That's a rule.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was all nonsense with her, and there was also, and I think her mind changed several times because keep in mind during the process of these books being written, there was a lot of online communication and a lot
Yep.
of opinions and stuff, and I think there was a lot of politics going on in her mind
I'll
as
give her
well.
credit. There's one particular thing she's never fully explained, and that's how a Horcrux is created, like the actual ritual for it.
Yeah.
And she says she's going to take it to her grave.
Good.
She knows it, but she's never going to tell anybody what it is. I'll give her credit because that's pretty cool. Most authors will give in eventually, right? They'll
Yeah.
cave. And
Well,
she
she's
just
not
hasn't.
dead yet.
That's true.
But I mean, this is all fantasy created in her mind anyway.
Yeah,
So
it's her world.
whatever she wants it to be.
Yep.
It could be magical bunny rabbits show up at your door, and you have one opportunity in a lifetime.
You get one. Everybody gets one chance.
One chance to make a Horcrux. And Voldemort, the ones whose name shall not be spoken, he stole other people's dreams. Evil bastard.
He is pretty bad. He's a bad boy.
He is bad.
Very bad boy.
Yep.
The other problem from a story. Apparently, we're just going to talk about Harry Potter.
Why
One
not?
problem that I have about Harry Potter that always bugged me was Voldemort is treated like he's this unbelievably powerful evil, right? Like he's like the devil, and
Yeah.
he's like 45. What? Like I just don't. I don't know. This is a world where with all this magic and mystery and blah blah blah, and the most powerful, most evil guy is like middle-aged and bald.
It's possible. It's possible. I get your point, though.
It's
You
just
were
weird,
expecting
though.
something ancient. Yeah.
Something like that deserves
Yeah.
all this hullabaloo. You got the
Yeah.
greatest wizard of all time who's even worried about him and doing everything he can to try and stop him, and he's just a dude.
Yeah.
He's just a guy.
We also got unlucky because the momentum has been killed, right? Because they came out with the whatever creature thingy. What was that?
Fantastic Beasts. I like
Fantastic
the
Beasts.
Fantastic Beasts movies. I don't know why people hate them so much. I think they're fine.
Well, I only saw the first one.
I've seen the first two. I haven't seen the third one yet, so I don't know if that's really deserving of the hate.
I don't know. I haven't seen. I saw the first one, and they were trying to tell two separate stories at the same time, and boy, did it not work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I just wasn't interested after that because it got woke. It got woke.
they start to tie that up there in the second one. Like they thread those two stories together quite well. And then in the third one, it's pretty much just a Dumbledore movie, a young Dumbledore movie. That's basically what it becomes.
Right.
Which is fine. I would love a young Dumbledore. Why not? Let's see it. Let's see why he's such a badass. But yeah, and the problem with the third one is they're probably never going to get a fourth one because it didn't make enough money, and they left it hanging. Basically, there's still no resolution to the problem of Grindelwald. So.
Well, I mean, it's they got political, they got woke, and that certainly hurt it all the way around. And of course, the critics that I listen to that are more interested in filmmaking, which isn't always important. I can go watch a dumb popcorn movie just like anybody else, but they absolutely hated those movies from a filmmaking point of view. They're just so dysfunctional, I guess. I just never
They're
got
not,
around
though.
to it, but
They're not. They're fine. They're what they are. They're because we don't have the books, right? You don't have that foundation. They are what they are. Now
Yeah.
she's involved. I think she wrote the last one. In fact, she wrote the screenplay for it, so
that's
she's
good.
directly involved. It's not like it's just some wild spin-off thing.
She's a smart lady, dude.
Yeah.
She's a smart
She
lady.
is.
She kept her rights to her books, and she's made a ton of money. They
I think
hate
she's
the
worth like
fact
$2
that her
billion.
opinion actually means something. They can't stand it, right?
And
But
me personally, I'm not offended at her, her feminism or any
no,
of that stuff.
I don't
Because
care
here's
either.
why: she has the balls. Even though, yeah, okay, she's a billionaire or whatever, blah, 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 but she has the balls to stand up and say, "No, this is what I believe in, and I'm not going to back away." She has righteousness, even if she's wrong in her opinions. She has righteousness in the fact that she will stand and be like, "This is what I believe, and I'm not going to let you bully me out of it."
Yep,
And
I agree.
I got to give her credit for that.
Okay.
Got to give her credit for that.
I found out the reason. No, it's not the fact that she wrote the screenplay. It says that she brought someone else helped her to write the third one. Maybe
Oh,
that's
I
why
see.
it sucks.
That could be it. Yep.
Brought
Yeah,
some
because
what?
they brought in Steve Kloves. Might be the reason why Secrets of Dumbledore failed.
I have no idea who that is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe
Because
he's not very good
before
at his
that,
job.
because if you look at the who's making it, David Yates directed all of them. J.K. Well, the first two by himself, and then Steve Kloves come on. And produced by David Heyman, J.K., Steve Kloves, Lion, Wingman, Rigram, and then they bring in someone called Tim Lewis as well for the third one. So
None of that
maybe
means anything.
Steven helping out to write it, and that new producer might have been the reason why it failed.
Well, one of the reasons I like it is I like Newt. I think he's an interesting character. He's basically just the Doctor from Doctor Who, but he's a very interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, he even carries around his own TARDIS, effectively.
He does. No, you're right. He's very Doctor-esque. You're right.
Yeah, and I think it
He's a
actually
fun character.
translates pretty well.
That's
to be
Eddie
honest, the
Redmayne,
character.
right? That's his name.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Such
He's a great
weird,
actor, Eddie Redmayne.
He is,
He's
but
a
he's
weird
a weird
guy,
little
but-
dude. He's a weird little
But he
dude.
can act.
He
can act.
He can, unless you put him in a space opera with a
Well,
very bad
listen.
acting Mexican girl.
Listen, you can't have everything, Chester.
That's fair.
Everybody misses sometimes, all right?
Yeah. Jupiter Rising, that could have been cool as shit, though. It could have been. The premise, if they went with that and went dark with that, man, that could have been cool. That could have been cool. But no, we got, a teenager. I love him. We got that. Dumb.
Anyway, back to The Wire, and what were you doing here? I came in the middle of it because my microphone decided to not work.
I saw
for
you were
some
having
reason.
trouble, and I decided to kill time because Ezreal mentioned the top 10 darkest TV show endings, and we went and took a look at it. I'm on the spot, Henry, dude.
Darkest TV show. That's a interesting. I gotta give it to The Penguin. I think that is dark, boy. It's messed up.
Yeah.
They had to that show. They had to that little series there. Again, if you're listening to this, you haven't watched it yet, go watch it. Go watch all 8 episodes. If they're all out now, so you can watch them all in a row. It's worth it. It's so good.
So
And it's
Pantheon?
dark.
Yeah, the Penguin. Yeah.
Yeah, Penguin.
Yeah.
Oh, Penguin.
It is good. But I'm alive.
Okay, so the
Okay,
trouble
so
was actually on a different video.
yeah,
That was just
no.
the kids running stills.
Before we get into the other stuff,
Yeah.
we do have, I'm assuming, some political stuff going on. I think the only political thing that is, the Democrats are in panic and they're doing their typical nonsense, of course. But the only
Oh,
thing I thought was interesting to me this week, politically, was the fact that California is still counting votes. And it's
yeah.
how miraculous is it that Republicans won all over the place, but all of a sudden, after weeks of counting, they're starting to lose.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Well, it's their own fault. They refuse to fix it. For years, Trump people and other people, not even really allied with Trump or just who would like the elections to at least be legitimate, have been saying there's a problem here. This is wrong. This is clearly not right. How did Trump win every bellwether county and still lose an election in 2020? For instance, and then wait, in 2024 he wins all but two of them and then wins the election and the popular. Wait a minute, that don't check out. That
Well,
doesn't
it's
check out
okay.
at all.
They were only missing 18 million votes somehow.
Yeah, that's
It's
fine.
nothing.
Listen, are you being racist? That
I
sounds
think I
racist.
am. I think I am.
Yeah,
My racism alert. I have a little
yeah.
blinking light here.
It's
It kind of
it's
always goes off,
so
though.
obvious what they've been up to.
I
The
think it's
problem is,
broken.
it's one of those things. It's like, you walk into a building and you can smell smoke, but you can't see it,
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
don't know
yeah,
where it's
yeah,
coming
yeah.
from, but you're just like,
That's
it's
when you get
smoky in
out.
here.
That's when you get
Yeah,
out. Yeah,
that's
when
what
you
we're
get
at
out.
with this election.
Yeah,
And anybody who can't smell the smoke, your nose don't work. I don't understand what you're looking
yeah.
at, and you can't be like, that's fishy, because that's clearly some fishy shit going on.
Well,
Well,
Um,
the Democrats in Pennsylvania all flaunted the fact they're literally cheating.
oh
yeah,
no, no.
yeah, they're
There's a bunch
openly
of
doing
cheating
it
went on.
brazenly.
They just weren't able to get away with it again. It was too overwhelming. We'll never know the actual results, guys. But speaking of smoke, though, in California, since that's what we're talking about, do you realize in Oakland, one of the worst places on earth, they have decided to reduce their fire department size by many stations, and also reducing the size of their police department. Genius.
What could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly, Oakland, right?
If
Oakland.
you're a sane person and you ever somehow happen to hear this and you live in California, get the fuck out of California.
Yeah,
Get
what's
out.
wrong with you, dude?
Get
Now
out.
let's just
I don't
move.
care. I don't care if you live in the north where it's, more conservative or whatever. Nope, ain't worth it. Just get out.
Yep.
Just get out.
Yeah, did you see what I posted in debates in politics?
I saw that, yeah. Yeah, it's not surprising. Of course that's what they're doing. They're cheaters. They're a criminal syndicate.
They are.
This is the problem with Trump. He's nowhere near extreme enough. Everybody thinks I'm crazy, I'm radical, whatever. Okay, fine. Okay, these guys are just going to keep it on. As soon as Trump's gone, the Republicans are probably never going to win a national election again because the Republicans didn't win the national election. Trump did.
No, that's very true. He created a unity government idea, and people were on board for it. But yeah, no, they need to get these skunks out of the Senate, dude. They've done a good job with the House, but they need to get the Senate because there's some real skunks in there.
The Senate's harder, unfortunately, because it's much easier to do broad voting in a Senate race in a state than it is because the House is very districtal, right?
Yeah,
District,
yeah, sure, of course.
what's the word I'm looking for? Something like that. Very much about the districts is how we'll put it, and so it's a little bit easier to deal with. It's a smaller operation to get some shitty House Congress member out than it is a senator. It takes a lot more work, a lot more effort.
Yeah.
And that's been the problem they've had. Plus, you have these. There's absolutely no excuse for the Senate. The House, you can make an argument that you shouldn't have term limits. Different conversation. But the Senate should absolutely have term limits. And it's because the Senate is supposed to be the more powerful of the two branches in function.
Right.
And it should be absolutely limited. There's no
oversight.
reason. Yes, no reason a senator should be empowered for 40 years. That's obscene. That's obscene.
Well, think of even Nancy Pelosi in her 19 terms in Oakland.
Yeah.
How is it Oakland, the yo NWA Public Enemy Center. How is it that they keep voting for an old white lady? How is that?
Old Italian lady.
It's
Yeah, it's
weird.
very
It's
strange.
very weird with a gay husband. I don't know how that works. Why do so many of these female politicians have gay husbands? What's up with that?
Well, I think you know why. I think you know why, Chester.
Maybe. Are you insinuating that I was being deceptive?
You never. You're not known for it.
No. A lot of people don't get it though. They don't catch what I'm putting down though, Thunder.
Uh-huh.
They get mad.
Uh-huh.
They get upset. They don't understand the ideas of a constant state of satire and sarcasm. They don't get it.
No, the U.S. government at that level, especially, really at all levels, but definitely at that level, is so unbelievably corrupt by numerous forces. You have a few of the people who are on the left who are still very anti-establishment, anti-corporate, anti all the money. Those people, they think the problem is corporate money in politics, right? The corporations are doing the blah, 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 blah. No, that's a problem. That's not the problem. The problem is the fact that the system is designed or has been redesigned in the last 100 years or so for bribery. Every single politician is bribed all the time, and it's legal. It's completely and utterly legal to
It's
bribe
weird,
them.
but
And it shouldn't be that way. And the only
No.
reason it is that way is because they're the ones who make the rules and they want the money.
Yeah, no, if you got lobbyists
Easy.
out of politics, you would see a radical shift in Washington. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And in fact, you shouldn't even be permitted to lobby.
No, it should be illegal. That's I 100%. I mean, for you and I to do what they do, we go to jail.
Correct.
But somehow
Here's how,
it's
here,
legal
you want
for
to
them.
lobby your congressperson? Okay, they should typically anyway come back to where they're at, their district, and hold town halls, and then you go lobby them. Go talk to them. Hey, do this. Hey, can we get this?
They could go talk to the people if they'd like.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, well, it's a lot easier just to hear from a super PAC.
Oh, that right there is a loophole anyway. Super PACs are a way around the law anyhow.
The whole thing is a mess, and the only way it's going to get fixed is somebody's going to have to go in there, and maybe Trump is going to this time. I'm hearing two different stories coming out of the camp. The one I choose to believe is that these sons of bitches put a bullet in his head, and he isn't going to forgive them for it. And he's coming in. He's looking to come in with a sledgehammer.
He should.
Hopefully that's true, because I'm hearing from some people that's what it's like. Then you hear from other people who both people who might be in the know that it's not like that, and he's coming in to do what he's going to do.
He's only got 4 years. It's after that.
He's got one last chance. Yeah. This is it. There is no more other chances. Like I said, the Republican Party is in trouble. Yes, Trump won this election. Trump did that. You did not. In almost every race where it was either Trump wasn't a factor in some way or what have you, you did very poorly or didn't win at all. The reason why you're seeing this success is not because suddenly everybody wants to be Republican. No, it's because people like Donald Trump.
That's true.
That's it.
What they need to do, and by the way, Dave's from Bucks County, Pennsylvania. Good job, Dave. I used to go hunting in Pennsylvania all the time. I liked it. But another thing they really need to do is some of these people need to go to jail. There was criminal acts done in the past 4 years. I mean, seriously, ones. They absolutely ignored and obliterated the Constitution for their own purposes. And that new Booby girl, what's her name? Booby.
Which way? What?
The AG that he chose.
Bondi. Pam Bondi.
Booby. I'm going with Booby. Because she's got a nice rack. Just so you know.
Nice. Nice.
Not quite the president of Croatia level, but
Oh my gosh, yeah, that daddy.
She's our mascot here, by the way, everybody.
She's a bit of a looker.
She is, and I think everyone should have a leader that looks like that. Personally,
I do too. Yep.
I'm sure Booster would appreciate that as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He might. I have a feeling he's an aficionado of the large boobied girls.
He is.
But
Yes.
he is just a Kiwi.
Well, by definition, then, you know.
Yeah, no, it's a whole problem. The whole thing's a circus at this
It
point.
is,
A
but
circus.
they need to, actually follow, enforce the law. How about that? I would be happy with that. But Booster, um, we only elect horse teeth. Yeah, I've noticed that. And it's how you doing with them Maori there? How's that going, Booster? How are the
What's
Maori
funny,
today?
what's funny is the ones causing all that trouble. Even the Maori don't like them. They don't even like them.
Well,
It's hilarious to me how cringe these people have become, and they don't even understand it. Like it doesn't register in their brain how insufferable
they're
they
not
are.
cool. They think they're cool, but they're really not.
Yeah.
We see this a lot, and I call it the Pee Wee Herman syndrome. But personally, but of course, I study history, and many of you do too as well. But the simple fact of the matter is, you go back and look at all the more what we call the more barbaric cultures of the past. And every culture was that way at one point, depending on how far you back you go, right? But
Mhm.
the Maori, about, in my opinion, pretty near the top worst of all time. They were
Yeah.
just savage to the extreme, just
Mhm.
ridiculously bloody, nasty things. Nasty things. The British would have done the world a service by wiping them out completely. But if they did that, they would have been the Maori.
They would have been the bad guys. Well,
Yeah.
listen.
They won't really
Sometimes
look at the Aztecs.
No, no, the Maori are way worse than the Aztecs, dude. Way worse. Yeah, a lot of the stuff the Aztecs did were quite religious based, and a lot of a lot of the sacrifices they did were actually from volunteers. Now, delusional volunteers, fair enough, but it's not as bad as you think it is, right? The Maori, they just simply wiped out entire civilizations, ate people, used their victims' heads as money.
yeah.
Uh, the Maori were just really disgustingly bad, dude. The Maori were just absolutely horrible. And of course, they continue this today, because anytime anybody finds an archaeological site in New Zealand that is, of course, to the people who were there before them, because there were people there, uh, they yell and scream about it. They try to fight in court that you can't even look at it. They'll go in at night and burn and destroy these archaeological sites. They'll destroy bones because they're so petty and small minded. Fuck the Maori. Fuck them straight. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Isn't their little haka something they just made up too recently,
I'm
like 200
sure.
years ago?
I'm sure,
I don't even
because
think it's
they're
real. I don't even
so
think it's a
full of
real thing.
shit, dude. The Maori are so full of shit. All the indigenous are, of course, fighting to try to get any scraps they can back, and I don't blame them for this. I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I
the
mean,
Maori aren't even indigenous though. They stole
they're
that land.
not. But don't tell them that,
They
right?
completely stole that shit.
They did. But then again, it's like, we're in Canada where they use the word First Nation, right? What do you mean First Nation? Those
First of
people aren't
what?
First
Which
Nations. They,
location?
they came in, oh, it's been a while, about 1500 years or so. Sure, it's been a while. But they're not the first people there. What are you talking about?
I
And all
mean,
the anthropologists and archaeologists, they know this, by the way. They
yeah,
know this.
yeah, it's silliness. Um, I mean, well, no one is a First Nation to anywhere unless we can finally settle the argument where people come from once and for all. We can put it to bed forever. We have definitive, 1000% can never be disputed again proof that this is where humans come from, and those people are the exact same as they've always been. No one's indigenous to anything. Indigenous
No,
is a
no,
is a
humans
it's a
move.
it's a nothing
We
weasel.
do
It's a
move.
weasel word. It doesn't
Yeah.
mean anything. What does
We
that
move.
mean?
We move a lot. And particularly the whites. I
White
call
man.
well, no, I call them the bees of the human world. But no, seriously, because the white people are just do not stop moving, dude. They're constantly moving, and
Yep.
therefore, when they're doing that, they're picking up ideas over here, and they drop them out those ideas over there, and things move around because of them. They're pollinating culture and cuisine and all that kind of stuff. It's not their stuff. I mean, they're picking it up and then sharing it the other places they go, which is fine. But the white people are like bees. They very much like bees.
Look at
It,
Elon. He wants to pollinate Mars real bad,
he does.
real bad.
Oh, he does. Let's see here. Dave says that Bucks County is northeast of Philadelphia on the Pennsylvania side of Delaware River that George Washington crossed over to New Jersey from. Well, he didn't do a good enough job. It still exists, Dave. All right. Um, those idiots. They're the ones, Delawareans are whatever they call themselves, are the idiots that put a transgender in the house. Good job.
Mhm.
They are causing a bit of ruckus, Booster said. They are.
What is going on with New Englanders, man? Why are they so fucking woke?
Well, it's union. It's union shit is what it is. Yeah. And I think
Oh,
once
so they're mobsters. I got it.
they're absolutely 100. You didn't know that?
I didn't
But
know all of New England was, even Delaware.
no.
The hell?
It's super union controlled. But seeing as the unions are shifting over red right now, we'll see.
Yep.
Because if
Workers are.
the unions go openly red, so will the New England states do.
Yeah, that would be a game changer there. It'd be
It
a
would
game
be.
over.
It would be.
Um,
Now, Booster says they teach in higher education here that Maori cannibalism and the Maori were all lies made up by the white peoples. Yeah, we have all the science and archaeology there, Booster. I'm sorry, they lied to you.
they're liars.
Yeah.
They like to lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's even a Maori movie where they were created by them that takes place before the white man came, where they even having killers commit cannibalism.
Well, they kill everything. There is many populations that they completely wiped out. They just wiped out entire civilizations, the Maori. And then they ran into a a somewhat benevolent group that kicked the shit out of them.
Yep.
I call them somewhat benevolent, meaning i.e. the British, because they didn't murder every single one of them as they should have.
It's shocking how much the colonized peoples of the world, we'll call them that, the non-British, because technically America is, a British afterbirth. The non-British colonized peoples of the world, it's shocking to me how little gratitude they have for the fact, and this is an absolute fact, that the British were so kind. Because everybody else throughout all of human history, when they had the power that the British Empire had, or anything near it, were brutal
Oh, very
to
brutal.
anybody who got in their way. In a
Yeah.
way, there's a reason why so many of these ethnic groups just simply don't exist anymore, and it wasn't because they just
No.
happened to go away. No, they were murdered away. That's where they went. They were killed, and they were killed by a much more powerful colonizing force.
Yeah.
This is just reality. The fact that America is as peaceful as it is with its power that it has, which is we're still way too brutal in my opinion, and the fact that Britain was as well, is something that if you actually had a conceptualization of history outside of yourself, you would be a little bit more grateful for, because the British absolutely could have done that to the Maori. They could have done it to the Aborigines. They could have done it to all these people where they had colonies and they didn't just slaughter everything that moved. They could have done it, and they didn't. And there's again no consent. It's just jealousy. It's just envy. That's all it is. It's not. They're not like, oh, their grievances are bullshit. They're all bullshit.
Yeah.
Because the alternative was you get to wallow in your own filth as savages, or we wipe you out, or basically some form of what you're living with now. You should be glad that the third one won out. You should be glad of it. Instead, you're all ungrateful and miserable because you get to live in a first world or very near a first world country like New Zealand. I think New Zealand's first world. It's close. Like New Zealand is.
Oh, it definitely is.
You get to live in a country like that because those evil British monsters showed up and made it that. Not because you were going to do it. You definitely weren't going to do it. None of you were, obviously, or you would have. You had all the time. You had more time than the Brits did. Many of these cultures I'm talking about, they've been around for thousands of years. The Brits haven't been around that long. Not as a unified culture, anyway.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't
So
all
what's your
perfect.
excuse?
I mean, there were plenty of bad things that happened, of course.
Of course. But it
but
could
in
have been a
general, the
lot.
cultures, Oh, it could have been,
Worse.
but the cultures, particularly British, the French, so who Spanish, not the same story. But the British, in the long run, the people did benefit. And I'll give you an example of colonization here, for those of you who aren't woke and think only white people do that.
Yeah.
You have a group called the Bantu, right?
Yep.
And they're from Northwest Africa. And we don't know exactly why, but in a gigantic migrational movements, they went across Africa. And keep in mind, Africa's pretty big, right?
Hmm.
To
Huge.
the
Mm-hmm.
In
east
fact.
side, murdering everything along the way. And then they decided, well, we're going to continue down. And they went all the way down to what we call South Africa today. Now, most people know the Bantu by the cool movie name Zulu.
Hmm.
But go to South Africa today. See if you can find the local people. There's a few survivors, a handful. But if anything, the British and of course the Dutch were trying to protect the locals, which they had made deals and friendships with, right?
Correct.
When these Bantu invasions came in. But the Bantu murdered everything, and
That's
they
right.
colonized everything along the way, and you can hardly find anything left. And this is pretty normal. Go look in all these so-called Muslim countries. Where are the natives? Where are
Yeah.
they?
Hmm.
Find them.
Where's the
Show them
great,
to me.
great?
Show me
Where's
one.
the great Persians?
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, yeah.
where's the white Mediterraneans that were all over
North
North
Africa. Yeah.
Africa?
Where are
They're
they?
just gone.
Where are
They're
they?
just gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of
Where's
the
the
Africa that
people
you
that the
want,
Aztecs slaughtered to establish the Aztec Empire? Because by the way, they're not from there either. By the way,
No,
oopsie,
the Aztecs
they
are
came
from
swooping in.
Colorado of all places. Isn't that weird?
So like it's just that's my point. Is it's yeah, of course there was terrible things that happened with colonization. The British did some
Sure.
terrible, horrible shit. Absolutely they
We
did.
do horrible shit to now.
Yes. But compare it. You can't just hold up some ideal standard of what you want and then demand the world mold to that. That's completely narcissistic and arrogant. Compare it to reality. In reality, for most places, now there were places where they were much more cruel than others, but for most places, the British were pretty fair. Were very fair.
They did, because
Yes.
their legal system restricted
Yes.
everyone, including themselves.
Yep.
That's the big important thing. But yeah, no, don't listen to him, Booster. Of course, New Zealand's a first world country.
I
He's
was just teasing
yeah, yeah.
Booster.
He says we're more first world than Oregon, dude. That
Well,
doesn't
again,
take much.
yeah, the comparisons is what we're doing comparisons here, boys. No, it's shocking how myopic and self-centered most people groups are, and they want to focus on all of the bad and ignore the fact that you're in a parliament. Let's just start there. You're in a parliament talking to civilized people who aren't trying to murder you and screaming in your face and trying
Yeah,
to eat you. All of these are because British people showed up one day. You
yeah.
ungrateful
Well,
savages.
well, here's another thing that I think is kind of interesting when we're talking about our arcaneness, right?
Yep.
In our cultures, right? My culture, our culture, we have, in our history here, you were talking about the past 1,000 years or a couple thousand years, we have the Magna Carta. We have
Yep.
the creation of the governmental system that the entire world uses, except for America. We use the Roman one. But everyone else uses the parliamentary system,
Yep.
a legal system that tries to protect at least the majority of your rights, a culture that swore off honor killing, a culture that swore off, all the
Ritual
brutalities
rape.
of war, yeah, ritual rape and all that kind of stuff. We swore it off long, long, long ago,
Yep.
right? This is the culture I come from. This is the heritage that I have. And it's something worth honoring. Although in the distant past, we need to acknowledge some of the nonsense we got up to, and we should.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
However, I don't understand these people I understand them fighting for every little right they can get. I get that you're conquered people, and I get it, right?
I do
But
too.
why would you hold up and honor a culture of cannibals, mass murderers,
Yep.
rapists, destroyers of ecology. I mean, absolute morons that could do nothing barely than float across the water, island hopping, murdering everything they saw until that island was let dry and they had to go to another one. Why
Yes.
would you honor this?
Locusts.
Yeah, like locusts. But why would you honor it? Why would you hold it up? Why would
I
you
don't get
not
it
try to
either.
become something new?
And
Because
then you
there's
take one of the facets of it that universally, or not maybe not universally, but even outside of your culture, a lot of people think is kind of cool and interesting, like the haka, and you turn it into a completely cringe, annoying spectacle
I always
that
thought it
everybody's just
was pretty cringe.
like, oh, well, there's times when it's cool. Like they do it before sports games. That's pretty
Yeah,
sick
but
when the
that's super
teams are doing it.
cringe too, though.
When they're doing it when they did it at I saw one where they did it at a funeral. I thought that was cool. I think we should.
That might be cool. Yeah.
I think the West should get back to that. Like this isn't. By the way, this isn't. Again, they pretend like this is their own thing. No, we had battle cries and war dances. We did all that shit too. We just did. That's just the reality of it. The West did it too a long time ago, but we used to do it too. I mean, you could say it's basically the same thing as back in the day where they had the drummer and stuff, right, to keep cadence. It's a
Right.
very similar idea. All of these things are things I think we should actually kind of get back to as a culture. Personally, we should get back to celebration and using dance and music in a way it was invented to be used, which is exactly for that,
Yeah.
not just to be degenerates and talk about
our culture's been
sex.
very commercialized, though.
Yes.
You know, and
But
the
my
whole
point
world is
is,
using our culture, you know, in that what you're
most
talking about.
people look at it and when it's done properly and like that's kind of neat, that's kind of cool, that has interest, that's interesting. And then you take that one thing and you decide to use that one thing in the most cringy, disgusting way that anybody with any sense of civility looks at and goes, ugh.
Yeah, no, yeah. It's just
Yeah.
honoring stuff that should not be honored. I mean, the Maori in particular, because you have such a recent and vulgar history, right? You would think they would be desperately trying to reform themselves as something different. You don't have to be like the British, be something different. That's cool. That's totally
Yep.
cool. I mean, when we talk about diversity, this word that they've tried to ruin, right? Actual real diversity is a wonderful thing,
Yes.
right? It's not what
Well,
they're
you
talking
live
about.
in a place that did exactly what you're saying. They
Yeah.
took the parts of European culture, British, Portuguese, whatever, and adapted it to their own certain. Now it took a while, but they got there, and it's the probably the most peaceful place on earth.
It is, and
Is
of course
Japan.
they also have their own culture, their own expression.
Exactly. Every excuse that we hear in the West about why so many of these cities are riddled with crime and there's all this and that and violence and even the school shootings, every one of these excuses, Japan standing over there, hey, we don't have any of those problems.
Yeah.
We have all the same
Mm-hmm.
situations, but we don't have any of those problems.
Yeah. And it took them about 170 years to get where we are today. And actually, you
Yeah.
could cut 40 off of that. So let's say 130 years to really get to the right place. So it didn't take them that long, really. But I'm just saying that everyone should embrace their cultures, try to preserve it the best you can. It's hard in modernity to do that. But we should try to preserve our cultures, and we should rejoice in all the different cultures we see because there are cool shit, right? And that's a great thing. But there are some, like, we're talking about the Maori, but there are others like them that just refuse to evolve, and they just sit on the laurels of their past, but they're not laurel. They're not
No.
good,
No, not at all.
right?
A great example is my people. One half of me, the American Indians. A lot of them are that way. They're just completely stagnant, riddled with alcohol abuse and all forms of other substance abuse, especially on the reservations.
But they're one with nature.
Yeah, well, they're one with it, all right. Just which one is the question. It's a problem, and it's a problem that can be fixed. We're seeing it be fixed in certain places. I use it all the time because
Casino
it's true.
money.
If you go over to certain parts of Africa, the dark continent itself, they're civilized as hell.
Oh yeah, particularly like
there's nothing wrong with it.
Northwest Africa. Once those Bantu left, they got better all of a sudden. Weird that.
Yep.
Yeah.
There are certain places, and I'm not talking like people say, "Well, yeah, you mean Egypt?" No, I don't mean Egypt. Egypt is on
That's right,
Africa,
Booster.
but it's not African. Everybody needs a just because it's on a place doesn't mean it is of that place. The
No, that's
entire
a
construction of
yeah.
Egypt's cultural everything is Mediterranean and more Persian than anything. It's not. It's
Yeah, it's
not
a Mediterranean
African.
story. It's a
Yes,
Mediterranean story. That's right. And of
but you
course, the
go to like
Mediterranean story is
Ethiopia,
an Arabic, Persian, and
Nigeria.
Aryan story, right?
Yes, you go to like Nigeria and stuff. Some of these places, they're not terrible. They're not. It's not necessarily anywhere you might want to live right now,
No,
but they're getting there. Give them a little. If they keep on the track they're going, they're getting there, and
yeah,
that's a good thing.
it is good, but the problem is, they just can't stay away from war. Every few
There's a lot of
years,
war.
something pops up, whereas everyone makes war. But we tend to have gaps between them of some kind. Now, I know a lot of people, you're American. Yeah, I know, I get it. But
Yep.
they do have, especially the Sahel there in going across the Sahara. It's
Mhm.
constantly at war. And when you get into the heart of the Dark Continent, with Congo and things around them,
Oh, that's
there's
a mess.
constant states of
Yeah.
violence going on. It's a constant thing. Do keep in mind that, and this is a shocking, shocking, shocking number. 0.003% of all girls make it withhold, maintain, or keep their virginity past the age of 13.
Yeah, yeah, it's a problem.
That's a
It's
real
a
statistic, by the way.
problem.
That's real.
Yeah, the Congo
Um,
Basin was a shit place before the King of Belgium bought it.
Oh well, the Belgians were absolute monsters in Africa, dude. It was
they
bad,
were
bad, 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 bad. Yeah,
terrible. It was
it was really
terrible.
bad.
The thing is, the
Yeah,
King of Belgium never even left
yeah.
the Europe to even go to Africa.
Yep.
Most of the stuff was actually killed out by people in the Congo or by other Africans.
Oh, sure. Of course, the African peoples were enlisted to do harm to themselves, of course. But we were talking about the British very specifically because they are different. They're
Yeah.
different than the other ones. The British have endeavored throughout their history to have the rule of law. They have
Yes.
they have endeavored to have this. Other
Until
countries are
recently, anyway.
spotty with it in Europe, right?
They're falling apart over there right now. I don't know
They
what
are,
happened.
but you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Yep.
They've endeavored to it. Now they failed many times as well, but it was the intention. The French never give a shit about that, right? The Germans clearly don't, right? The
No.
Spanish are just as bad as the Muslims.
Yeah.
The Baltic people, oddly enough, are the more peaceful ones. I mean, if you look at it in totality, even though we keep saying,
Yeah, they
"Oh,
just keep
they're a
getting screwed by
warmonger,"
the
oh, blah, blah,
Germans
blah,
and the
blah,
Russians.
you know.
Anyway, Chester, you want to? I didn't get a chance to tell you what happened to me this weekend.
Oh no, I
I'm going to get
didn't.
into it.
Yeah.
I'm going to get into it real quick because
Go ahead.
I had a just interesting weekend. We're going to do a complete topic change here. So the wife and I decide on Thursday. I was like, babe, let's go. Let's tomorrow night, which would have been Friday, of course.
hmm
Let's go out on a date. So we go out, find a new place we've never been to. She decided, her call, to go to a place that's called Twin Peaks. This restaurant is named Twin Peaks, and the reason it's called that is because it's basically Hooters. The girls walk around in very skimpy little outfits.
Wow, that's the first thing that came to my mind.
Yeah, yeah. It's clever branding. I'll give them that. And it looks inside like kind of like a mountain lodge, so it's all
Nice.
good branding. And the girls were, they were fine. They were whatever. I don't really get excited about that stuff though. It's kind of the same reason I've never been to a strip club. Never want to go to a strip club. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, they look nice, but so I can't touch them.
It's
Can't do nothing with them.
boring.
Yeah. So what am I doing here? But anyway, so we go there. We have our meal. Heading home. Nice little restaurant. Nice little time. Our waitress looked like my wife when she was 22 years old. It was freaking me out. She looked like she could be her little sister. She was the same height, same eyes, same. She was wearing the same glasses or very similar glasses, same colored hair. It was freaking me out. Anyway, so we leave there. We're heading home. We're out driving down the road, blah blah blah, talking, whatever. All of a sudden, off to the left, literally had to have just missed us by maybe 5 feet. Here comes this SUV zooming up, hits this truck right next to us,
Uh-huh.
flies up into the air and flips onto its side and crashes into the other lane.
Woman driver.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So we spent the
Yeah, that
next,
old
I don't know.
person.
So we pull over because she had to have just missed us. We pull over, hop out of our car. My wife, she used to be a nursing aide and everything, so she knows how to try to do all that stuff. Her car's still on its side and she's unconscious in there, and a bunch of guys come over and push her car back upright. We get her out of there, and she starts to wake up a little bit. My wife lays her down in the grass, has the guys lay her down in the grass, and she held her, held her neck, make sure she couldn't move it, until the police and EMT arrived. And then as soon as they got there, we basically left because I didn't feel like dealing with the questions for the next hour.
Oh yeah.
Because it's irrelevant. Nothing. We add no value to this conversation. Just get her to the hospital. But yeah, that was my night. So we're driving home, thinking about it, and I'm just sitting there thinking, man, I wonder if she's okay. Hope she was okay. What happened there? Because it was out of nowhere. The other truck, the guy in the truck was fine. He got out. He was up walking around. He didn't get hurt at all. She literally just ramped his truck and flipped up on the side and slid down the road. If anything, whatever happened, whatever caused that, somebody said they thought she had a seizure. Maybe she did. She needs to be thanking the Lord above that truck was in her way, because she would have went headlong into oncoming traffic if he wasn't there. And that would have been much worse. So, and she was in a fairly new, I think it was a Buick, and it had full airbags. So she had her airbag, had passenger
There's your
airbag,
problem, lady.
had door airbags, the whole deal. Yeah, and she flipped over and she was completely unconscious, and she was young. I don't know, early 20s, maybe mid 20s.
I have my
By
hands
herself.
up. My hands up. I have my hands
There was a car seat in the back too, so she has a kid. She didn't have the kid with her, thankfully, but she does have a kid. Very strange. Yes, Chester. What is your question?
Thank you. Drugs.
Probably. There's a very good chance. Booster, to answer your question, absolutely nothing. I was just laying the groundwork for why we were out at that time. And then the funny thing is it's one of those places where, it's designed mostly for single guys or groups of guys to come in, right? But my wife wanted to go to it because she's not insecure about that stuff. So we went to it, and the waitress, who looks, like I said, very similar to my wife, would not look at me. Would not look at me. I talked to her, and she'd make sure she just kept looking at my wife the whole time. I actually thought it was kind of funny. And then at one point, she asked if we wanted dessert, and you know me, I'm not a big sweets eater. I have to really be in the mood for sweets, otherwise I'm not interested. But obviously, my wife's interested. She's a female. They want all the sweets.
They do have a stronger sweet tooth. That's true.
Yeah. And I said, no, I don't really.
My mom hates sweets.
No,
I don't really
it's
like
a
sweets.
biological
real
imperative.
to the fact that sisters love sweets. Mom loves sweets. I love sweets. It's like, I don't know why, but
it's real. This is what's called a straw man, so you know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
DNA said,
nope,
you don't want sweets.
Go ahead. Anyway, so she asked if I wanted anything, if we wanted any dessert, and I said, no, I don't really like sweets. And she goes, oh yeah, my fiance is the same way. All of this conversation happened without her looking at me, and then I said, oh, I like your fiance already, just being casual. And I got the dirtiest look I think I've seen in years from a female. I don't know why. I've been baffled about it for days. I'm like, why did she just like hated my guts for some reason right out of the gate? I didn't say anything to her. It was very strange. But then we went, like I said, we went down, came home, big car crash, saved a woman's life, and then came home. It was a crazy weekend, or a crazy evening, because it was just all over the place. And we had to have been, like I said, 10, maybe 5-10 feet away from her hitting us. And if she would have hit us, we were in my car, she probably would have really messed us up. But this guy, luckily she hit a guy in a truck. Now, it wasn't a big truck, but it was still a truck. And it, the way she hit it, she went up the back of the bed. So that protected the guy in the truck, right? He didn't get hit with most of the force his bed of his truck did. Just a crazy night. really a wild night. But yeah, no, the best part about the night was the food was amazing at this place. We both just got burgers because we figured, you can do it, but it's harder to mess up a burger than it is other things. So we just usually get burgers if they're an
Yeah,
option
because
at a new place.
easily they got robbery.
Yeah, yep, yep. No, and it wasn't bad. The burgers were really good. They were super juicy, nice and thick, nice thick gourmet style burgers. Uh, yeah, it was a wild one. And then something else happened too. I can't remember now. Oh, I remember. So when we were flipping her car over, we flipped her car over, got it out. I got in it to try and find anything, like a phone or a wallet, something, so we could, see if we could find anything out about this girl. Uh, and I couldn't find anything, unfortunately. But then the cops came. I was like, all right, I'll let them handle it. I'm not gonna get accused of stealing anything. Uh, yeah, it's pretty crazy. There, Booster, are you happy? Are you happy now, Booster? You son of a bee. And I'm not Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth Warren is only 128th or whatever it was. 120
Not
or
even
1208. I'm
Yeah,
like
that woman's whiter than I am.
I'm like 14%, something like that, I think it is. If you must know the actual percentage. It was my great great great
Okay,
grandfather.
so I'm whiter than you then.
Yep. Yep, I'm a mutt. I'm also my the white part of me isn't isn't exactly white either. It's a mess. Super mutt race over here. Pretty much every type of European somewhere in the mix of my genetic cocktail here.
Oh, same with me. I got ancestry from across half of Europe and slightly in the Middle East. I think
Mm-hmm.
what was it? The Armenian and frick was the name of that country, the ancient country. Gilgamesh, Mesopotamian. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that general area.
Yeah. No, it's wild. It's wild. It was interesting because for some reason, even when it was happening, I was not I don't know, there was no fear. It was very weird. Because like I said, she easily could have hit us. I don't even know where she came from because I was driving along, getting ready to uh get over into that lane actually, and all of a sudden I look over and there's the front of an SUV just in the sky, just boom, like a shark fin, just flying through the air, and it just came crashing down. I said, "Oh shit!" Uh, Crazy. It was crazy, crazy. And then today, so when we were playing Dolmenwood, playing D&D the other week, if you remember, my dog decided to destroy my wife's antique couch cushions. Well, we've been looking around for a new couch that would match our love seat because she had a matching set of two blue antique floral couches. She had a matching set, so we've been looking around for a couch that would match it well enough that she could keep the love seat. We found one and messaged the people and went and picked it up today and brought it home, and it actually looks pretty nice. So now I have two different sets. I have the blue love seat and a green floral couch, and she's happy. I'm happy. Everybody's happy. Very happy day. Very happy day for
That's
Booster
good.
Gold. Booster, you be happy. You're not allowed to be friggin' miserable. I won't permit it. It's not permitted. Not permitted at all. Chester just disappeared on us with nothing to talk about, by the way. He's got this stuck on this thing we haven't talked about in 25 minutes. We got nothing to do here. How has Dragon been? Let's talk about that. What's Dragon been up to?
My uncle and his daughter came to visit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they moved to Texas, but they're the kind of people that the Texans don't want. At least she is.
Oh,
You
lib.
get my meaning?
Real lib.
Mm-hmm. Very.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They're fun, aren't they? They're just so much fun, liberals.
Yeah, as long as
So
she
much
doesn't talk
fun.
about politics, he's fine.
It's weird how their brains just switch to misery when they start talking about politics,
Are
lib.
we still
Because I
talking
know a
about
couple who are
boobies?
like that.
No?
No, he's back. No, we were I was talking about we were talking about how Dragons Weekend has been. Because you left us here looking at something we talked about 20 minutes ago, and it's not like I had that much of a story to tell.
Well, I mean, I
So
can
we didn't have
change it.
anything to say.
Yeah. That's okay. But yeah, last I heard something about some girl's fiance. But
Yeah.
I know this. For me, in general, I let the woman lead with most things if they're capable of doing so, because it's irrelevant to me and it makes them happy. But there are certain things I put my foot down and have zero compromise. One of those being my fiance and/or wife working in a titty bar.
No? No
No,
titty bars? No
no.
titty bars? Yeah, no, she looked like she was in her early to mid 20s, so like 22, 25 ballpark. Has a fiance already, which she should at that age, let's be honest, but in America that's actually unusual now. Um, and is working at a titty bar. And she had to be if she was anything, she was just 5 foot tall. I mean, she was, cute. She had a nice little body on her, some titties, but uh yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know. I don't know if I could do it either.
No.
Probably. I just. I don't know about it. I don't know about that.
No.
But no, what I was saying is she had mentioned she had a fiance, and then she was asking us if we wanted dessert. And, I said I don't want dessert. I don't like sweets.
Yeah, I heard
Apparently, her
that.
fiance doesn't either. And I said to her, just in just in lightheartedly, I was like, "Oh, I like him already." And she gave me the dirtiest look I've ever seen in my life from a female. I said, "Oh, all right. I don't like him. I don't fuck that guy. I guess I don't know what was the right answer here." It was very strange. It was a strange night all the way around. Very strange night all the way around. And then we rescued a young lady from a car crash. So there's that.
Booster is miserable, he says.
Yeah, I told her, "Oh, you weren't here for that." I'm gonna tell the story again just to make Booster even more miserable. So remember, apparently my voice gave out. Remember when Silas, my dog, destroyed my couch cushions?
Yeah.
Well, we've been looking for a new couch to replace those ones, or replace that one if we couldn't find two.
Should be
And
made
we
of
found
titanium.
we found another. Well, we just buy cheap ones. That's the move. We found one for $20 on Facebook Marketplace, an
Sweet.
old floral style couch,
Boy, you get what you
three-seater,
pay for, though.
nice couch. Well, I mean, it wasn't $20 brand new. It was $20 from these people. Went and looked at it. Nothing wrong with it. They were just moving. She wanted rid of it. And yeah, bought a nice one. It's green, so now I have a green couch and a blue love seat. Both very floral patterns, both very old looking, and my wife is happy again.
To your grandma, I get it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not. My wife is. I'm almost never out there. I'm usually in here.
Yeah.
I don't really sit on those.
Well, I can change the story, seeing as you were so
Let's
insistent.
do it.
Okay, here we go. Go ahead.
Booster's bored. Henry
bored.
Cavill stars as centuries-old warrior and Highlander reboot. That's a very interesting way to describe that, but yes. And I'm actually, this is one of the only movies I'm actually excited about here.
Now that's most of the stuff I have here today is to talk about what are we excited about. I'm getting into that. I'm also going to get into the bulk of today is actually going to be looking at what's coming in 2025. We did this in 2023, if you remember, and we were right.
We were.
Sadly,
we were. There was nothing. There was
It
very
nothing.
little.
Very little. But this one here, I don't know how I feel about this. I like Henry. I do enjoy Henry. I mean, he seems like a fun guy, and he's pretty good at what he does. But I don't know about him playing the Highlander dude. Although he's being British, he's more appropriate than the Frenchman was.
Far
Well, no,
more
that's
qualified
not
than
even
the Frog.
well, because he was Scottish. If they had made him like English, it would have made more sense, wouldn't it have? But because he's Scottish, though, and this sword hilt is annoying the shit out of me.
I don't know where that came from, if that's official art or not, but yeah, that's interesting.
That's not accurate. That is not anything close to what a Nihonto would ever look like, unless you're in a buying an aluminum one in Chinatown.
Yeah.
That's not accurate. My God, that's bad. But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, this article you can go read it. I guess I didn't even bother to read it. It's the concept that I'm more
Now,
interested
look
in.
at that right there, though. Look, go back up. That's that's fan art, but you can't tell me the drip on that isn't sick. Look, go up, scroll up, scroll up. Look at that. Come on,
Yeah,
come
no, no,
on.
no.
He's gonna look
He's
good.
he's a handsome fella, and I have a feeling. I don't know. For me, it's because this was a one-off story, in my opinion, right? From the way I look at it, I don't give a shit about
You didn't
anything
like
that
the
happened
show?
after.
You didn't like
I
the
didn't
show?
watch
The TV
that.
show?
I saw like an episode or two, and I
Oh,
was boring, and I didn't watch it again.
show's
Uh,
so good.
I didn't watch it. Don't care. But the movie I like, and why do I love that movie? Because Christopher Lambert is awesome. Sean Connery does not give one shit, and Clancy Brown is the man.
And to this day remains the man.
The man. Yeah, no,
He
I
does.
love Clancy. We all do. Like, he is Mr. Krabs. I mean, come on.
He
I
is.
mean, come
He is in fact
on.
Mr. Krabs.
He is perfect. But that's why I love the movie. It had nothing to do with the story and stuff. Now, can Henry pull off a reboot? Can they pull off a reboot? I hope so. I mean, I hope
Yep.
so. But it just doesn't. I don't know. I don't need it, I
Well,
guess, is the thing.
what's good
But
about this is it can be really, really low budget. You don't need a
it
ton
can
of
be.
special effects. You need a fireworks show every now and again when someone gets their head cut off. But other than that, you don't need a lot. Um, with Henry
Yeah.
at the lead, you don't need a ton of other people around him that are anywhere near his billing. I don't think. I think you'll be fine. And if you keep the budget low and keep it, I don't know what the rating plan is, but I'd imagine R. Keep it R rated. You could do, you could John Wick this shit. Is my point. You can make a successful
The
franchise
sword version.
without
Yeah.
chasing, yeah, without chasing $1 billion like all these other ones are
Mhm.
trying to do. They're all chasing that billion. But John Wick never did that. They never expected to get anywhere near that. They had much more reasonable expectations. So,
He's good with a sword in his hand. Let's be fair.
oh, he's phenomenal with it, and he looks good with it too.
He
Like that's
does.
the other thing. Some
But who
people,
did he
some
get to
people
play
can
the
pull the
villain?
stunt work off, but you have to also have the look. It's like Keanu. Keanu looks fantastic with a gun because he's
does.
actually put in the work. He
He did.
knows what he's doing.
Yeah. So is Henry. So yeah.
Yes. Yep. So I think this
Yeah, but the
this has
question is, who's
potential.
It's
playing the
probably true,
villain?
Booster.
And it's the guy who made John Wick, isn't it? Isn't that who's making it? Stilinski?
I don't know.
Isn't it the
That
same
would be
director?
helpful. That would be
I
helpful.
swear it is.
That
I
would be
swear that's
helpful.
what's happening here.
I'll take a look here. But I don't know. I just don't know that I need it. Is the thing in my brain.
Well,
But then
nobody
again, they've
needs
screwed up.
Highlander.
Well, they've screwed up so much stuff with Henry, right? They tease
They
this,
have.
they tease that, and then
Mhm.
it doesn't happen. It fails. The Witcher bomb. They never did anything with Superman. They're kind of wasting this guy, to be honest with you.
They are. They are.
Chad
Yep. There it is.
Stahelski.
Listen,
Stahelski.
Chad Polanski of Poland is the maker of John Wick, and he is also making. So it's gonna have the aesthetic. We're gonna get something because one of the things that Highlander doesn't get enough credit for is it looked great. The cinematography of it is really good, especially that first movie. There's a lot of,
it is pretty.
as the kids today say, a lot of drip all over that thing.
Mhm.
So yeah, and I think Henry is when he wants to be, he's Mr. Drip. So this could be, I'm telling you, this could be something. He's really good. Here's what Chad's good at, apparently. Taking actors who deserve more and giving it to them by finding the way to utilize them in the most effectively. Like Henry is he has an insane profile, insane presence, and physical charisma, just like Keanu does. Okay, use it.
Henry's a better actor as well.
Oh, he's a much better actor. Use it. Just
Yeah.
use it. Use his physicality. There's no reason not to.
Well,
And I think that's what we're going to get here. I think we're going to get a lot of rule of cool with very little dialogue because you
I
just
hope
don't
so.
need it.
That's what
You
you
don't
need.
need
The
it.
first movie was the same, right?
Yep.
But it looks like he's shooting a live action Voltron first. Oh, I didn't even know that.
Excuse me?
Yeah, weird. Let's go ahead and see what the director here, the Wick director, the Stalinski says. And we're bringing it forward, that's scary. From the early 1500s in the Highlands to the beyond present day New York and Hong Kong, and seeing how it goes. There's big opportunity for action. Sure, it's an action movie. There's a chance to play a character that not a lot of people get to play. Sure, and it's a bit of love story, and not how you think. On John Wick, I learned a lot of how to bend the story, telling a little another kind of myth. Well, this Zelensky guy,
Yeah,
the you know I did like the John Wick, but there at the end though he got a little bit auteur on us and decided that John Wick,
he did.
which is a nothing and popcorn action movie, needed to have consequences. You
Yeah,
fuck.
it was silly. It was silly.
It's
And
very silly.
they just both wanted to stop making John Wick movies.
Maybe.
That's all it
Then
was.
they should have. And then
Yeah.
they should just do that.
One
Um,
thing I would say on what he said there, it would be kind of cool if they, like he said, a love story, but not the way you think. You know how he has a katana, right? That's what he uses.
mm,
What if
he got from
he got that?
Ramirez.
He got that right, but what if instead of from a Ramirez, he got it from some woman that he was in love with centuries ago, and make the movie about getting his katana back, kind of like John Wick. A very similar idea to John Wick, right? The puppy. It's not so much that they killed his dog; it's that they killed his dog that his wife left him. That would work.
It
Don't, because John Wick is the first one anyway, is a love story. It's about getting revenge for somebody hurting something you loved.
Well, it was the last piece of his wife, is what it was.
Yes. You could do something very similar with Highlander, and it would have even more impact, I think, because the fact that he's immortal. He's going to live with this forever. There's no respite for him, just from time. Time's not going to heal this wound, right?
Right.
You could do something really cool there, I think. But that might not be what I have no idea what his plan is. But that's just an idea that came into my mind when he said that, because it has always been a little strange that he has the weapon that he has when he's Scottish.
Yeah, well, they explained it in the first movie. He got it from
Yeah.
Ramirez, and Ramirez got it from some Japanese
Especially
swordmaster.
considering a Highland longsword would be far better than a katana.
It would be far, especially for a tall, strong man. It would be better than a
Yes.
katana. The problem with the Nihonto is it's not the greatest weapon in the world, but but with the right training to use its inequity to your advantage, this is why the samurai were so badass, right?
Yes, Booster. He's gonna make beautiful love to the katana. You're
I'm
right.
sure that would be bloody. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, so I know a lot of people will be excited about this. That's very GQ of you, and yeah, I don't know what to say. I don't really need another Highlander, but anything that gives me Henry in a fun way, I'm down for. This guy's been so screwed over by Hollywood, dude.
I keep hearing rumors they plan on making him Wolverine. Okay, why not?
Yeah,
Might as
He's
well.
still looking.
Might as well.
yeah.
He needs something to do. Like
Well, and
everything
he's
he tries to
aging well
do.
as well.
Yeah, everything he tries to do, these people screw up. He doesn't screw them up. Everybody else around him screws it up, and then he just walks away from it because why wouldn't he? He doesn't. It's not like he needs the money. He's a well-to-do nerd whose hobbies include video games.
Yeah,
it's not an expensive lifestyle. Trust me, it doesn't take a lot.
Has he settled down? Is he married yet?
He's got a kid on the way, actually. So
Oh.
I think he's engaged. I'm not sure if they're married, but I know he's got a kid coming. He's gonna be a daddy.
Oh, that's nice.
Yep.
But it would be nice to, be able to have legal control over that situation there.
And he
Henry.
also has a dog who is awesome, who's an Akita.
Oh, I didn't know that. I don't really pay attention to Hollywood gossip very much. I do know this guy's been screwed over a lot. So hopefully it's just a good, fun movie and everybody can enjoy it. If it's basically John Wick with swords, I'm down for that.
I think that's what we're
Yeah.
getting. I do.
And
I think we're getting John Wick with swords.
and it gives Zelensky another world and a cosmology to delve into. Clearly, he likes it, right?
He does.
And
He
of
likes
course,
the world build.
Highlander needs to have a proper cosmology because after they made the first movie, they had no clue it was going to be a hit. And then, like, oh my God, what do we do for the second one? And they dropped that ball bad, baby.
And they didn't know why it was a hit either, clearly.
The second one.
Yeah. They didn't know. They didn't understand why it was a hit because the second one had none of the things that made it a hit. It didn't have the cool factor. It didn't have that awesome soundtrack. It didn't have any of that stuff.
No, that was a panic panic
Yes.
sequel is what that was.
It was set in a totally different fictional world. Like,
Yeah.
what are we doing here?
Were they're aliens? What?
Very strange.
Yeah.
Very strange behavior.
And of course they were just being dumb, because the easiest thing to do if you really wanted to expand the lore is they are the gods of old. I mean, and that's
Yeah.
how gods work within our reality. It's kind of
Could be.
like we did with Hancock, although Hancock was another one that was handled horribly. But the concept could have worked if they went a slightly different way with it. But just have the Highlander thing representing how gods work in our reality. That's what they are. They're just long-lived immortals, and you know it is
Yeah.
what it is. And when they kill each other, they gain the other one's power. I mean, it's simple, right?
Simple and effective.
Yeah.
Simple and effective.
But no,
Clean
they
even.
were aliens riding around on high-tech flying scooter thingies. And they were in prison because how dare they rebel? They're all good guys, you see. They're all good guys. Even the
That's right.
Kurgan.
Yeah. The Kurgan's awesome. Hopefully, if this so is this it says it's a reboot.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they mean remake. Because you couldn't really reboot that the way the last movie ended.
Well,
So you would
now,
have to almost start over.
now we don't have any idea on script whatsoever. He's just talking
Right.
about places they want to go. He's visualizing it. But what if they say, okay, we got the first movie. That's great. Everyone imagine this is Christopher Lambert. Okay, we're done. And then we make us the second movie the way it should have been.
You could.
How about that?
You could. Just ignore everything after the first movie.
Yeah, well, you
You could do
should.
that.
You really should.
Yeah. Well, I liked the show, but I was a kid
Well,
when
that's
I
fine.
watched it. I
Yeah.
haven't watched it in years, but I used to really like the show. I thought Adrian Paul did a fantastic job as the other McLeod. I can't remember his first name, but the other McLeod. Then
It's
they
Connor and
eventually,
Duncan are the two.
yeah, and then they eventually merged those two together because they were in the same world, obviously this world. And they made movies together, which I thought was actually pretty cool. So hopefully it's just like we said though. What made Highlander the first one work is it was just over the top, rule of cool, especially Kurgan, he was phenomenal. And I think that's what this movie needs to be. I think John Wick with swords is exactly what it should be. Everything that makes
Yeah.
John Wick work
Yeah, just
with
make it a popcorn
swords.
film. Henry does popcorn films really well. But just like Keanu, he does popcorn movies really well. But the first half of Hancock was neat, but it got weird. It did. The
It did.
concept was interesting, but they dropped the ball. And it's just another example of Hollywood putting a woman out who betrays her love. I mean, it's just another example. Hollywood cannot allow women to love who they love and stay with them. They have to betray them. They must
Mhm.
betray them. This is a Hollywood trope, and it's not going away. And that's the reality of it. But whatever. Let's move on. I hope it's fun. This
It's
right
going to be
here,
great, Chester. It's going to
it,
be great.
it could be. What do you think of
Well,
this?
is this even a prediction? It's kind of Craven predicted to flop like Madam Web. Director pleads with fans. Of course, that's what's going to happen. And the
Yep.
worst part is, this actor is another actor who needs more shit to do, and he finally got something to do, and it was this.
Who is this actor?
Alan Taylor Johnson, I think is his name. He's the guy. He's in Bullet Train.
He
Him
is.
and the Blackguy brothers. Yeah.
Oh,
the fruit
that
guys.
he played an idiot in that one. That's interesting.
Yeah. Well,
That's a
everybody's
very-
an idiot in that movie.
Well, it's okay. Yeah, that is true. I see. That's why I didn't recognize him. Yeah,
he
no,
was also Quicksilver.
Oh,
in
right.
Marvel.
Okay. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, we were very skeptical when they announced this, and then we saw the trailer and we were like, ooh. Now that was 2 years ago. So what the hell? Where's this movie been? Especially because the trailer looked like it was mostly shot,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, it was definitely done.
So I don't know why this has been sitting on the shelf so long. Probably because it sucks balls. But the
dragging it
problem
out.
with this is the same problem with Hollywood in general. The villain must be the good guy, right? Craven is a
Mhm.
bad dude. He's greedy and selfish, and he's megalomaniacal. You know what I mean? He's just a bad dude. But no, he's just an angsty guy who doesn't like daddy. Fuck you, dude. Fuck you.
Yeah, no. Craven is one of those hyper masculine evil
Yeah, he's a
characters that
bad dude, though.
Hollywood simply cannot do any. Again, another example, Kurgan. Another great example. Hyper masculine evil. They don't know how
And
to
he
do this
loves it.
anymore in Hollywood. Yeah, they love what they are. They're not ashamed of it at all.
Mm.
They don't know how to do that anymore. And it's one of the reasons why we'll go back to Penguin. I love the Penguin so much because he knows what he is. He's fine with it,
Mhm.
and he just does what he does.
Yeah.
Does whatever he wants.
That was a
And I
nice thing.
appreciate that.
We weren't meant to sympathize with Penguin. We
No,
know what he
he's
is
a complete
from
monster.
the very first scene. He offs the guy.
Yep.
We know what he is, and we love him, and we want to see him succeed through the muck, right?
Yes.
And that's fine.
It's what makes Heath Ledger's Joker so great, right? It's
Mhm.
there's at no point they're trying to get you to understand him
No,
or sympathize with him
no.
or see where he's coming from. No, there's no empathy for this guy. He's just insane. He's evil.
Yeah.
And that's what Craven should have been. If you could make a Craven movie. We've seen plenty, like just mentioned too, plenty of villain-centered focused stories that were fine. There was no reason you couldn't do that. But that's not what we're going to get here. We're going to get where he's bad, but he's not as bad as his daddy. See, his daddy's the real big bad guy.
No,
No.
but from the trailer, it didn't even look like he's bad at all. He's the hero. He's a hero
Yeah.
fighting against his evil father. That's not Craven. Now,
No.
what they should have done was just given us a movie showing how absolutely ridiculously evil this guy is, and then started the Craven's Last Hunt. Do like 2 movies, 3 if you're really desperate, I suppose, with Tom Holland Spider-Man.
You could use Tom. You could even use Andrew Garfield still.
I don't care,
Because
but
it's
but
Sony doing it.
But you know
It
what I
doesn't
mean.
matter.
I
That
hate
would be
him
Yeah.
as
badass.
Spider-Man.
Dark, badass. Go ahead, Ethereal.
I said I hate Tom Holland as
Well,
Spider-Man.
but I'm talking about Craven's Last Hunt, which is one of the greatest story arcs in comic book history, dude.
Yes, it's phenomenal.
Mm.
It might be Spider-Man's best period.
I
to be
would.
honest.
For me, it is. Other people like things like, say, jackasses who decide to destroy marriages. Anyway,
Yes.
I said, let's see what he says here. I said when Madame Web bombed. Of course, it bombed. That Sony, it's
Madam
lesbian
Web
witches.
movie.
Anytime you have lesbian witches, whether they are in space or in the ethereal realm, it's gonna bomb. Anyway,
Why would anybody think a Madam Web movie would make money? Of all
well, it's a
characters.
TV show, but yeah, I get your point. That Sony should get rid of whoever it is that is in charge of Marvel's movies. But none of the flicks have ever been good. And we can go back as far as the Amazing Spider-Man movies to prove my point. Wow, you got a little salt, buddy. These
He
types
does.
of films aren't hard to get right. Okay. After all, there is decades and decades of source material to rely upon. Yup, I just said that. However, he's reading my mind. However, when your ego is that big and you don't care about the source material or respect the fans, it's a recipe for complete disaster. That's Sony Marvel in a nutshell. Just that's Marvel in a that's Hollywood in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Now the latest in that estimates offer Craven the Hunter will be the next Sony movie, Marvel movie to get to Mega Bomb. Yeah, I'm sure. To get released next month, so it's one of these. They're putting a lot of stuff in December now. You notice that?
It is weird.
Yeah. The flick follows Tom Hardy's Venom: The Last Dance, which sucked big time. People seem to like that one better, actually. Hardy doesn't give a shit about source material and definitely has no respect for fans. Well, that's true. Likewise with the clowns that put together Madam Web and Morbius. I actually like Morbius. But anyway, what are the estimates? 20. Ooh. Whew. All right. They don't have much hope for that.
Uh-oh. I'm more interested in that headline you just passed. No plans for Deadpool, Wolverine, or Blade, or well, Miles Morales, thank God. But for
Hmm.
Deadpool, Wolverine, or Blade,
Yeah.
that's really
Good.
stupid,
No, it's
Kevin.
all woman. It's all female now. You didn't know that?
Okay, that's fine. But Deadpool and Wolverine just made him all kinds of money
Oh, they don't care about
on our
that. It's not
R-rated
about
film,
money.
by the
It's
way.
about the politics.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I
I
think
like,
that
and I did like
Spider-Man
Morbius. I enjoyed it. It's like a
yes,
good throwback to a 60s sci-fi, man. I thought it was fun. I'm not going to say it's great, but it was fun. All right, so they basically think this thing's going to bomb in a mega way. This is what the creator says here. I don't want to get too into the nitty gritty of it, but here's what I would say. For me as a filmmaker, my number one goal, especially, quite frankly, over the last couple of years, when you guys are deep in this world, some of my fans are out there. A lot of the fans were upset with certain decisions and certain outcomes, aka of Sony's Spider-Man universe. Then with other films, they gone on to be tremendous successes. So there's been a mixed success rate. People have got to give us a chance and come out and support this film, and literally try to wash away some of the other stuff that's happened. Give our film a chance. And I think
Ugh.
they'll realize that we've done everything we can to give them a pretty fun story. You'll see
It's
what the movie's over. There's
oh
potential
my
for a
Mhm.
lot
gosh,
of
he's
things
still
to
going.
happen. But my
He's
goal
he's
was
still
to
begging.
isolate our movie, protect it,
Oh my
and
god.
just tell a good damn story. And
You
then
can
we'll have
tell
opportunities to do a lot of fun things.
this gentleman
Best
struggles with has never ever in his life wooed a woman.
No.
Because if
Uh,
you tried to woo a woman with that much verbosity
yeah, yeah.
and that much desperation,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
not gonna it's
You're
not
not
gonna
going to get
work.
it. Yeah.
No.
But you notice how my interpretation modified as I went along.
Let me
Yeah.
make it very, very clear for these people out here. Movie audiences, even when they're full of men, are like women. If you can't get to the damn point in your pitch, why would we come watch your movie? Like the fact that you come off this desperate and needy is a turnoff to everybody. No, no, thank you, no, thank you.
new product and get excited for a new product.
Yeah, if it's not, oh yeah, he's a real ladies man. If
Mm.
it's not exciting off the rip, we're not interested. It's kind of like a woman. If she doesn't find you exciting or interesting off the rip, you're pretty much done. You might be able to change your mind, maybe, but the harder you try, the worse you're going to make it.
Yep, yep.
So
And he's known
yeah,
for nothing, by the way, nothing.
yeah.
Although Triple Frontier, it was all right. But yeah, he's one of those. But whatever, dude. The only thing that speaks is what you did. It's that simple. But anyway, Craven, not surprised that no one's excited about it. Of course, they delayed it so much that people have forgotten any hype that would have been is gone. So yeah, I don't. Villains aren't born;
And
they're made. And you didn't
and the
make him a
worst
villain.
part is, look at him. He looks great.
He does.
He could play a good Craven,
He could.
but we're not going to get good Craven. We're not going to get good Craven. We're going to get cringy anti-hero Craven, or maybe even just straight hero Craven, uh, which isn't Craven. Craven is a bastard. He knows he's a bastard. He's fine with it. He's completely fine with who he is.
Oh,
There's no insecurity or angst in Craven. He's
well,
ready to go.
Craven loves himself, right?
Yes,
He's
big
one of
fan.
those. He's one of those.
Self-assured.
Yeah, he does. I'm
blame
not so
the
interested in that. So we got one that could be fun. We got one that no one asked for. Oh, this one. You're not gonna like this, dude.
Oh, yeah, I heard that. Batman Part 2 is delayed. Nothing is close to being planned. Well, that's
Planned.
not fully true because I saw that unless this is coming from him himself, Mr. Reeve had the script just about done, and then what happened was the writer's strike, and they got pushed back and they had to get back to it later. So, I don't know. I guess it
Well,
depends who's actually saying this.
James Gunn says he hasn't gotten a script yet. That's who's saying this.
Okay. Does he need a script? Because I thought these were separate entities.
I don't know, but he's the boss, so he hasn't got a script yet. So as far as he's concerned, nothing exists. But we
That
know
can't
that James
possibly
Gunn
be
doesn't give
true.
a shit about the Batman. We know he doesn't.
Well, that's my point. Well, one, from what I understood, the structure was James Gunn's thing and Mr. Reeves' thing are completely separate. He's not under Gunn at all. I thought. Now, maybe that's not true, but I thought that was what they said the structure, the hierarchy at DC was going forward.
Mhm.
Uh, regardless, I don't buy that. There's no way. We both watched Penguin. I think Dragon watched it too. There's no way. There's no shot they don't have anything planned.
Yeah,
We saw them plan it.
we know that's not true. But do keep in mind that James is the one in charge of the purse strings now, right? But seeing as there is no script, there is no plan, there's no setup, there's no shooting schedule, there is nothing. Therefore, next year there's nothing on the books for anything to do with Batman whatsoever.
That's interesting.
There it is.
I knew. Well, I heard it
Well,
has
that-
been pushed back to 2026, so I don't know.
Yeah, but
What's
they were
going on?
supposed to. They said they were going to be shooting in 2025 here. But now, I'm looking at this article that there's nothing scheduled. There's no plan whatsoever to do anything in 2025. So,
Interesting.
and it once again, Gunn reiterates Matt Reeves has not finished the script.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder what's going on there.
Well, maybe the Penguin has shifted thoughts. Maybe. We can be
Maybe
hopeful.
Maybe they're going to add more Penguin. We're going to get more Penguin.
Yeah, but they also could go completely retard and just kill off the Penguin in the movie because they like the Penguin.
Jump right into Batman versus Penguin. No, that's not.
Yeah,
what
that
we
would
do.
be stupid.
That would be stupid.
What they
That's
would
not
do.
what we
Slow
want.
burn it.
Yeah.
Slow burn it.
Slow burn.
He's going to get him eventually. We all know it.
Oh, sure.
But he doesn't have to right now.
No.
First of all, he needs to fully become Batman before he handles this Penguin. He's still kind of not fully Batman yet. He's still growing into that role, which the end of the movie very clearly states. He's still becoming this character. He doesn't fully understand it yet. So he needs to fully understand it before he takes down this Penguin, because this Penguin is a supervillain. He's ready. He's right there. He's ready to go. So I think we need a little bit more of a burn. He needs to percolate, maybe deal with something a little bit more personal in this second movie, and go from there. In fact, I'm going to throw out an idea. We know Sophia's alive. We know that they're sisters, her and Catwoman, right? What if he kills them? What if Penguin gets them both at the end of the second movie? There you go.
Maybe.
Now Batman's got a reason to be pissed if he kills a Catwoman.
But it is kind of curious. What do you do with Batman in the second movie? Showing us a little bit more of the Bruce Wayne, maybe a little bit of personal growth. We definitely need Batman growth. But who do you put him against, though? Who is what do you put in the way they set it up, right? With what the Riddler did, and I love what they did. But how do you continue from that? Right?
Maybe the Scarecrow.
Yeah, well, you could. The problem is they just used the Scarecrow in the last set, and I think he said he wanted to move away from the characters Nolan used as much as possible. Reeves said originally. That's why he went with Riddler. I don't know. That's been my problem. We've been talking about it.
Use Bane, Catwoman.
Well, he did use Catwoman. That's true. That we've been talking about
maybe
it,
Poison Ivy.
And the problem is with Poison Ivy, you'd have to do a change to her back to a less fantastical version because he wants to stay away from the more fantastical Batman stuff. We've been talking about it, and I don't know. It's a hard question to answer because nobody wants it to be Penguin. Everybody I've talked to, no, not yet. It's too soon. Don't jump right to it.
No, don't.
Let that perk. Let Penguin get more powerful. Let's build it up. So I was thinking he needs to have a much smaller story, like you said. I think you said that last week. Smaller story, more personal to him. I think one of the ways you can do that is you bring in one of the more murderous ones of his villains that is just a straight serial killer.
Like Killer Croc.
Could be any number of them. Yeah, it could be whatever. And focus on he's trying to figure that out. And then the real story that'd be playing out is with what's going on with Penguin and how he's consolidating power more, and he's getting more and more. He's becoming more and more of a problem. But basically, Batman can't touch him because he's too well connected or whatever.
Yeah.
And you build to it. You build to Batman getting to where he's able to touch him, basically.
That's fair,
Uh,
Booster. That's fair.
yeah.
Um, but no, I mean, what they could do is seeing what the Riddler did. There could have been a secret section of Arkham that is where they house the most dangerous supernatural types. And
Mhm.
that was damaged with the flooding of Gotham and the bombs that went off, and some of them
Good.
escaped, a la Killer Croc. And you could literally have this thing that's really beyond his physical ability to deal with, running around the city just murdering and eating people. It would be darker, but I'm on board. But yeah, Killer Croc would be good. Mad Hatter is going to have to be something set up like the Riddler or Joker, right? We want
A
something that
lot
doesn't need
of
setup, right?
right. A lot
It's the
of
that was great then.
rumors. A lot of rumors have been around Clayface, but the OG Clayface, not the Clayman
Yeah,
Clayface.
just the disguise, master of disguise. Yeah.
Somebody had said, I think I was talking to him the other night. They said you could do Harvey Dent, but here's how I would do Harvey Dent. I would have the first, Two-Face, the first half of the movie. He's Harvey Dent, the DA. He's trying to, they bring in the new mayor, da 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 da, and whoever Batman is dealing with in the first half basically is the first half of the movie. Batman gets this one, whatever it is. It could be, it could be Killer Croc, could be Zsasz, could be anybody who's out here killing people. Batman stops him, and then somehow, some way, either Penguin, because he's sick of Harvey Dent's, meddling, or whoever, Harvey Dent, Two-Faces his ass, and then the second half of the movie, or the last third, is focused on Two-Face. Not the weird shit we got at the end of The Dark Knight where he's only in like 5 minutes of the movie. It's him. He becomes the problem.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the problem. Is
It is a
Batman has a
problem.
great rogues gallery, but the only he needs something that's a problem, but is more of a distraction
Right.
from
No,
the
I
thing
agree.
that it's obviously heading to,
The-
which is
the-
Penguin.
The first movie really put you in a corner, didn't it?
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at these characters and they all require a lot of setup. You could go something like the first Captain America spy thriller with Deadshot making, going around assassinating people. You could do that. Firefly would be high tech. I don't know if I go that right. Hush, please wait a long time, if ever. Shiva Zaz, is similar as Croc, I guess.
Hugo
They were kind of set,
Strange.
and I would say that psychiatrist with Sophia's psychiatrist, S&M lover, I kind of felt like they were trying to make him Hugo Strange.
He could be.
Yeah,
They could switch to it, flip it up.
you could have him
Um,
going after a
I
serial killer
actually,
like Professor Pig, or
if you were gonna do one that leads in, because basically this second movie, as long as they don't shoot themselves in the foot and go right at Penguin, needs to just be the setup for why Penguin has to get got by Batman, right?
maybe
You would need somebody who's less impressive, I guess would be the right word. So Firefly could work
it
uh,
could, but I
if you
don't.
just made him a crazy arsonist, right?
Yeah, which is what they could do. But me personally, it is a problem. But they need to take this
See, and
movie to set something up.
it could work pretty well too, because you could lead that right into Two-Face and have him be the one who burnt Two-Face up.
You could,
One of Firefly's fires
you could, or
burned up
maybe
his
he
face.
didn't get burned. Maybe this time he simply gets the flesh peeled
just-
from his body by Professor Pig.
Oh,
Imagine
The
them
problem
like
is-
doing
the
a
problem is-
7, right, with Professor Pig.
you could. The problem is his name's Professor Pig, and that's ridiculous. When he should just be Pigskin. That should have always been his name. I hate the name Professor Pig. It's so stupid. It's so dumb.
Keep in mind, it's a very old character.
I know, and it's a dumb name.
But they could do something really dark and small with that. Of course, you have Ra's al Ghul. Of course, Talia here is another love interest, but Ra's al Ghul is always. But you have to do that. That takes a lot of setup, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I would wait for him to be doing this for like a decade before he gets introduced, because I feel like just some random
I
guy
agree.
in a bat suit would not pique his interest.
Yeah, I agree. But that's the problem. A lot of these things take setup, dude. Is it Dr. Hurt? Is that who the psychiatrist is supposed to be from Penguin? I don't know. But these are lesser things here we're getting into.
What was that psychiatrist's name? It was Julian something. I can't remember his last name. He had it. They said it. That her shrink in the show in Penguin. It was Julian something. I can't remember.
I didn't spell that right. Okay, good.
No, you sure didn't, English teacher. It's never gonna not be funny, Chester.
Yeah. Let's see here.
You have one
Victor.
job.
Victor. Julian Rush.
Julian Rush.
Let's see here.
And that actually kind of sounds like a villain name, to be honest with
It
you.
does.
It's not a bad
well, they
name
clearly
at all.
were leading him in that direction, right?
Yep.
Let's come up here and see.
I don't hate the idea of the ventriloquist. The problem is like Chester said, it's going to need a lot of setup.
It's going
to
need
make
a lot
that
of
work.
setup. Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't see a Julian Rush. We have a Julian Day as the calendar man. That would be funny.
Oh my God! Imagine if they actually somehow made Calendar Man not the stupidest character ever to exist.
Hey, take up the challenge, dude.
It would be a challenge.
Hey,
it would be
all
a
you do is
challenge.
just turn it into a serial killer.
Gosh,
Yeah.
Calendar Man.
But it is
Ridiculous
tough. It is a
character.
tough situation, and that's why it's taking time, I think.
Yep.
But yeah, I think we're not looking at Batman until 2027, dude.
Might be, which sucks because they got a lot of momentum right now.
I would rather have something good and wait for it, to be fair. And
That
of
would
course,
be
Roger
5
mentions
years
the Court
between
of
movies,
Owls.
though.
That could be fun. Yeah.
Chester,
That
that'd be
actually
5 years between movies. That's crazy.
it is a lot, yeah. But Court of Owls, dude, that's not a bad idea. That would be a good thing, setting him into becoming Batman, because that gives a lot of lore to Gotham and of course the powerful elites of Gotham.
Right.
Because the Court of Owls is more of a historical narrative, right? Of
Right.
what's how Gotham became Gotham. That might be interesting. That's not a bad idea, dude.
It could, but I don't know. The problem with Court of Owls is you'd almost have to have a time skip, I think, to get to where it would make more sense for it to be so. Because the reveal of Court of Owls is because Batman is Batman, right? And the
Right.
fact that he didn't notice this whole time is something.
Well, he just made a name for himself. He's become known. Maybe they now say, "Oh, we got to deal with it. We got to deal with it."
Yeah, could. You could do another one that would be great to be just a problem is Deathstroke, because yes,
an assassin
he's
running around the city.
yeah,
Sure.
Exactly. He's technically a Batman villain, but he's also just a DC villain in general.
Yeah.
And he's one of those guys who can go with Batman. That's a fight. That's a fight big time between those two.
Yeah.
So I think you could easily have him be a temporary problem that Batman has to solve without it being like a full-blown, the whole movie's about him, if that makes sense.
Well, no, I think that's probably what you need. You need something where we got a little bit of stuff going on with the Penguin. We have a few characters that are starting to emerge. And then there's this overarching thing he's dealing with in amongst all the other little stuff. We could have that middle act movie for sure. But they need to be very careful about it. And I think they're quite, I think there's an understanding going on here with Matt Reeves, at least. The first movie hit big. The Penguin is hit even bigger. So don't screw it up, right?
Don't fumble the bag.
Well, I think he cares. I think Matt Reeves actually cares, right? He's going to put his black swaps in there. He's going to have, I'm sure we'll get a gay or lesbian somewhere here. I'm sure Harvey will be gay. We'll get some of that, the progressive politics. But in general, he wants to make something successful, it seems.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So,
well, I think they heavily implied it anyway, that Catwoman was bisexual. So in the first movie,
of course they did.
But they never fully confirmed it. They just heavily implied it. So,
well,
we'll see. We'll see. I don't really care, because we just had this show and there was none of that. There wasn't even a whiff.
Not even
any of that stuff.
And that was done by a lady.
By a lady of all things.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of successful lady creators. They
I
just
like
don't get
I
any
like
credit
Brewster's
because they're
idea.
successful.
I
All of
like
these
Brewster's
woke
idea.
assholes, these progressives, want to point out, look at all these women that failed, and ignore all the successful ones.
Look at Brewster's idea in the chat. Harvey Dent is straight. Two-Face is gay.
That's perfect. Yeah, that's perfect.
No,
That's
no,
perfect. Yeah.
no. It depends on which half of Two-Face. He's saying he's
Yes,
bi
one half
because
of
Yeah,
him's
that's
half of
his
gay.
his
point.
gay,
That's his
the other
point.
half
That's
is
his
gay.
point. And if anyone adds
Do
Harley
I go
Quinn,
for a
I
man
will
or woman
send
this time?
ninjas. I just want everyone to know.
What'd you say?
I said if they put Harley Quinn in this, I will send ninjas.
Oh, there better not be.
They
We
better
don't
not be
need
no
it.
damn
They
Harley
did put.
Quinn.
They
Screw
did
up.
technically put Joker in the first one. He's right there at the
Well,
end, but
he's
he's
in the
already
end
in
credit.
Arkham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to get Joker no matter what eventually, but I'd like to see them slow burn it, put something, have this next movie be a mid-act movie that is setting up a lot of stuff. You got the momentum, just do it really well.
Yep.
And then in the third movie, whatever it is you're setting up kicks off, right?
It's time to
But we'll
party.
see. Well, I hope, to be fair, I hope he uses other parts of the Rogues Gallery.
Me too.
I don't
It's deep.
want to see the same shit over and over. I don't need another Joker. I don't need it.
I don't either. Especially since we've seen now what other Joker looks like after Heath. No thanks.
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
Give
I'm
us
good.
new things.
Nobody's even come close. So let's chill out and we'll just leave Heath as the last Joker for a while, which it has been a while, and we'll forget everybody as a species. We're gonna forget the other ones ever happened because I think it's for the best. It's for better for
Yeah.
everybody involved if
And-
we just all Men in Black neuralizer that shit right out of our brain.
And I really hope that he gets away from the same problem Nolan had, that they don't like the supernatural. Screw you. It's a comic book.
He has said he doesn't want to, but I agree with you. I've been wanting. I think Batman's supernatural stuff is the coolest in DC anyway.
It's subtle.
It's just cool. Yeah, it's exactly. It's understated. There's not too much crazy over the top. I'd say the most over the top thing, probably Clayface, because he's Clay.
Clayface.
But
is,
other than that, other than that, it's pretty subtle, like mutations or very minor magic or whatever. I think it works very, very well. In fact, you could make a case that, yeah, I get it. He does it with a chemical, but some of the stuff Scarecrow does is pretty mental. Like he does some mental stuff. I think the reason they're going to stay away from Scarecrow, even though I think he would be brilliant in this world, especially how much they've been talking about Arkham, is because they did it so heavily in the last
and they
trilogy.
did it pretty well, to be
Yeah.
fair, because Nolan didn't want supernatural stuff, so therefore he went with a science villain, Scarecrow.
Right.
And I thought that actor did a pretty good job.
He
I
did. He
liked
was
it.
great. Cillian Murphy.
Yeah.
They have established, super drug type stuff where you had Bliss, you had whatever it is Batman injected into his leg in the first movie. We still don't know what that was. It was never explained. It could have just been adrenaline, but I have a feeling it wasn't just adrenaline, and I think we're gonna get Bane eventually.
You think that was
I
Bane
do.
juice?
I think that was prototype Bane juice. I do. And that was the tell that Bane's coming. But I don't know. We just don't know, especially this Penguin show being as good as it was, and it clearly threw a monkey in the wrench here. We just don't know what they're gonna do. I would love to get real Bane. To get Bane. We have Arkham as a big deal in this world. It's been established. It's a whole thing now. We need the one villain who used it properly by unleashing all of Batman's enemies.
Yeah.
We need the one guy who understood that this is actually a weakness to Batman. It's not his strength. This is his weakness, is his mercy. At least that's how he sees it, and that's how he uses it.
Mm-hmm.
God, I want Bane. I want real Bane so bad.
And
not this mind control crap like in the first time we see him. Oh, it's a Russian guy, but Luchador want to be Bane that grew up in a South Central American jail.
Yeah, he's Brazilian, isn't he?
I believe so.
Yeah, and he uses his venom. and jacks himself out. I mean, Christopher Nolan's Bane was lame as shit, dude.
Yeah.
And it's like, why did you do that? I mean, even if you didn't want to have him become oversized, you didn't want to have that. You could at least had his drug that some kind of adrenaline or something like that made him stronger and
Right.
powerful. You could even went with the addiction line of it because it is addictive. Although Bane
Right.
is one of the few that can resist the addiction. But yeah, no, that the not having a touch of supernatural is a problem. But we'll see what they do. There's a lot of pressure on these guys because
There is.
they really painted themselves into a corner with that first movie. How do you move on from it, right? You can't
I don't know.
just do villain of the week movie. You can't do that. You
Mm-mm.
need to produce a story here, I feel.
Well, especially again with the show being so good and what it's shown, what the potential is in this version of Gotham. Uh, you're gonna have to come up and swing and hit something hard, right? You can't phone it in here and ride the wave. I mean, they might do that, but I think you're doing yourself a great disservice if you do. If you come in
Yeah,
best foot forward, you come in with a plan. And here's what they need. All that we're talking about. Here's what they need: a plan. Where are you going?
yeah,
You got a
yeah,
great lead in.
yeah.
Where are you taking this? What is
And,
the end game? What
and
does it
if
look like?
and if they were just going to cash in, I think we would have a script in hand already.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I would love for this to go is Nightfall. Is Bane. Is that story. Let's
Yeah,
do it. Let's actually do it for once.
yeah,
For God's sake, let's do it.
could be
It's
fun.
one of Batman's best stories, maybe his best story. Let's do it.
No, Bane is definitely a good thorn for Batman without question.
He is. He's so good.
Although I kind of feel like I'd rather build him up in the background like they did with Thanos. Um, I'd
Yep,
rather
you
have
could.
that than have him
Well,
right
that
in
could be
front.
what that shot is that's the first tease of it
Maybe,
coming.
maybe.
Bane's coming.
I do hope they have a plan, and hopefully go sit down because we're always worried about this director because Matt Reeves is a Wookiee. He is a
Big
Wookiee.
time. Big time.
But he seems to be able to, like J.K. Rowling, right? He seems
Hmm.
to be able to separate his political opinions from his job
Hmm.
to a great degree. I mean, the movie definitely you could point out woke points, but they didn't woke it on you though. They
Right.
didn't. They were just there. And the fact that okay, you got a black Catwoman. Well, that's not the first time, but she was drop dead, baby,
And she killed it.
and
Mm,
she
She
also
killed it.
killed
did.
it. The
Yeah.
only thing I was disappointed was Commissioner Gordon because they did race swap him, and I was like, yeah, but I've seen this actor before. He's really good. And then he kind of sucked.
Yeah, he was weak in the
He
movie,
was
I think.
very
It wasn't his
weak.
best performance. Yeah.
No, and it's unfortunate because I've seen this guy kill it, dude.
Yeah,
Oh
he's a
yeah,
great
he's a
actor.
good actor, but yeah, he didn't really have that great of a time in that film.
He was
But they didn't
too
really.
common.
Yeah, I would agree. Um, I would like to think that they're not going to mess things up, but it's Hollywood, and I'm kind of concerned when you're saying it's going to take them this long to come out with another Batman film.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it could be a
Mm.
great
Because
thing or
I'm
a bad
wondering,
thing. Yeah,
I'm wondering what's between this.
yeah, no, that's
We don't
fair.
know.
Maybe
We don't know.
nothing.
No, I
So,
was joking
yeah.
in the chat, and I was like, "It's going to be it's going to be a Catwoman film with Sophia, and they're going to take out the Penguin."
That would be ridiculous.
I
Yeah.
don't think so, and here's why I
I don't
say that.
trust if they would.
I don't trust them any further than I can throw them, but I do trust that they're still trying to do storytelling. And you don't have the last shot, which I'm not going to spoil it for the people who haven't seen it. You don't have that last shot be what it is if it's not Batman. That would be the worst storytelling in the history of cinema, which is possible. It's possible they do that, but
I
I just
mean,
don't think so.
I would agree with you, but I have been wrong about those
You've been
type of
bitten
thoughts
before.
so call me cynical,
Yeah,
but
no, we're
I
all
am
very cynical.
concerned because a lot of people did like so coming out of that show, and I'm one of them. A lot of people like Sophia.
Oh,
No,
she's great.
the
She's
actress
phenomenal.
did a great job.
She was
I don't
awesome.
I really don't like how much work they put into making her the victim. I think they should have
Yeah,
dirtied her up a lot and made her, and she would have been
I
so much
agree with
cooler.
you too.
But that
For,
actress
for the
did
fact
kill it.
that it's the Batman universe and everybody's dirty in Batman for the most part.
Yeah, yeah, and they should have just dirtied her a lot more than they did. But we'll see. We know how it is, dude. We know how it is. But yeah, I don't know. But we're not getting anything soon, guys. Matter
No,
of
I
fact,
think
Yeah.
I'm with you on. I would hope they kind of go more street level with it, not world-ending events. I don't know. I think a ventriloquist story would be really cool if they could update that character
yeah,
to a
yeah,
more modern take on the ventriloquist. So he'd be more like a puppet master manipulating people into doing things or using other criminals, smaller time criminals. Like you could even introduce someone like Zaz or Firefly
yeah.
Yep.
through those type of means.
Well, if we want to stick to an elemental theme, the first movie was about water. The
Yeah.
second one could
True.
be about fire.
Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
Maybe.
about fire and ice?
Oh no, stop it.
They're not going to choose. They're not
No,
doing
I don't
Mr.
think we're getting
Freeze.
Mr. Freeze. Unfortunately, I love Mr. Freeze. I think he's a great villain, but I don't
Your
think we're
best
getting
Mr. Freeze story will be the Batman animated series version.
Oh, dude, they did such a good job with that, didn't they? It was
So
so
tragic.
good. It was like the best arc in that whole series, man. Yeah, Mr. Freeze was great, and the way they
What do you,
portrayed him was
Chester?
wonderful.
What do you think about having a Mr. Freeze show like The Penguin? A little 8
Now that
episode,
would be cool.
tell his story, build it up.
Mhm.
You could do
Well,
that.
well, that's what I was just about to say, actually. Seeing as we're probably not going to get a Batman thing until 2027, maybe even early 2028. That means there's plenty of time for them to get out there, shoot another little 8 episode series of something, and get it out before that. It's quite doable. I mean, it's very.
I got an
doable.
idea. Besides
Actually,
Mr.
doing
Freeze,
that would be good.
what about Catwoman? What's she up to?
Yeah,
I could be
Could
down
build
for
her
a
up.
Catwoman show.
if
Because
it's
she
cool.
leaves
Yeah,
Gotham at the
but
end,
it-
right? So what's she up
Yeah,
to?
but they're gonna
Yeah,
lesbian the
because
shit
she
out of
really
that.
hold the
You
whole
know they
movie
will,
by
dude.
herself.
Listen,
Because she
You're
is
gonna-
just a capo girl at the end.
listen.
I think I
Chester,
might know where Thundaro's going with this. Just
if
I
they're
might.
hot lesbians, it's fine.
No, it's not. But anyway, we'll leave it there. It's unfortunate. I thought we all felt that they were ready to go, baby. And they really need to be careful about killing momentum, dude.
Yeah,
But
they do.
we'll see. We'll see. But
They
this
do.
is not good news. Let's move
Well,
on
I
to
can
the
tell
next
you,
one. Yep.
The Penguin is the most talked about show at my workplace
Oh, easily.
right now.
Because it was awesome. It was just
Yeah.
awesome. Everything was great about it. Yeah. Yeah, and they got so much momentum. I just hope they don't kill it because of their stupidity. And I have the more I see the interactions with James Gunn and Matt Reeves' Batman, James Gunn clearly does not give a shit about that property. I think he's
no.
almost against it because
He
it's
probably
not
is.
his vision.
And it's better than anything he's ever put out in his whole career.
Maybe, yeah.
I'm
he
getting
does
real
yucky, fun
sick
stuff
of the
like that.
Guardians blowjob that people have been doing for the last 10 years. It's
Yeah.
good, but it's not great. It's not even
No,
close to
it's
great.
fun popcorn.
No, it's
He does that well.
yes.
Yeah, we'll see. But I don't be surprised if this thing goes a little bit sideways, guys. But this here I want to talk about because when I saw this, I was like, you people.
Daniel Craig eyed for Sergeant Rock DC movie.
Yeah.
So a manlet for Sergeant Rock. For the man literally called Rock, we're gonna get a
No,
manlet.
no.
Excellent.
Now,
That guy should
Excellent.
not have been James Bond. The
I
guy
agree.
looks
Especially
ugly.
considering he beat out Henry Cavill to be James Bond.
yeah, very bizarre. But
Oh,
here, let
that's
me
just
give
a-
a little bit of
that's a
backstory
crime against
before we get
humanity.
into this conversation. Sergeant Rock is a war comic, and they've done a lot of crazy things with Sergeant Rock over the years. But you got to understand, this is a comic book that was so popular that it withstood the transition from the Code era, where they had a lot of horror, a lot of that kind of stuff going on, over into the superhero time. He survived that
Mhm.
transition. Not many of them did, right? Very few of them
Yeah,
did.
Mhm.
And his
yeah, yeah.
comic has always sold like crazy. It's always been because I've read a few and they are pretty good. But I never understood why this character people are so enamored with it. But they are. They are. This character sells a lot of comic books too with a lot of people. So he's not unimportant. He's important. And you're going to put this little teeny guy
Yep. And
who's
listen, I
boring as
like
shit.
Daniel Craig. I like Daniel Craig. I don't dislike him. I don't think he's a good James Bond, and I don't think he's going to be a good Sergeant Rock. He just doesn't have. He's not that guy. He's not that guy.
He's not
You need,
charismatic.
He's
yeah,
not.
you need somebody with insane physical charisma to pull off
Who
Sergeant Rock.
who's the dude that played the werewolf in True Blood? That kind of like
I
the main where he's not the boss, but we're following him. What was
I
that
have
guy's name?
no idea. I've never seen that show.
It's the guy that is into D&D as well.
Yeah, yeah. But that dude, he would be a good Sergeant Rock choice. He's got
He was the
he's
one that was going to do the Dragonlance series. I forget his name. He's married to the girl off of Modern Family.
What is the werewolf's name?
Oh,
it
fuck.
I don't
know.
remember, but he's got the body for it, and he's actually very charismatic.
When I tell you who it is, you'll know exactly who it is. Hold on,
Yeah.
I'll look it up.
But that's the first thing that comes to my mind. You could do, some other people.
I'm
You
looking.
need kind of like a
His name.
Clint Eastwood, Charles Bronson type.
Yes.
It's Joe
Yes.
Magnanello or whatever.
Joe
Magnanello.
Magminello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that guy, he could do it, and he's not super well known, and that can work in your favor.
Yeah, he would be a good Sergeant Rock. He would definitely play that well.
Oh,
But,
okay. Yeah. I know who
here's
this
an
guy is.
idea.
Okay.
Here's an idea. Let's not have a Sergeant Rock movie.
Fair. Fair.
Why do we need a movie about Sergeant Rock? Like, I get it. He's a popular character for
He
some
is.
reason. I've read good Sergeant Rock stories, but I don't need a Sergeant Rock movie.
Yeah, nobody
don't.
asked for a Sergeant Rock movie. No, yeah,
Is he gonna be in World War II? I don't need another
Manganiello.
superhero World War II movie. Yeah, Joe Manganiello.
He'd work. That's a good choice, Chester. Actually, that's a good choice.
It is a
Chester
good
got a good
choice.
one there.
Yep.
But we don't get that. We get 5'4" Daniel Craig. Oh, I'm sorry. He's 5'8". Yeah.
Oh, he's also a Brit.
Yeah, he's also
We're gonna have-
British.
He's
yeah.
also
Sergeant
British.
Rock Brit.
God. No, it's a shame. It's just one of those things. Like, you could do something really cool with Sergeant Rock, sure, but I think it would work better more as like a TV show, like a little series on some streaming service than it would.
I would agree
It's a
with you
movie.
there. I would take it as a TV show more than a film, but
Why?
But, you know.
Why would you pick him? Like, it doesn't. Everything this. I fucking hate James Gunn, dude. If this is true, I hate James Gunn so much. Every excuse he gave that was given for why they couldn't just use Henry again for Superman, he has broken that on every other casting that he's made.
100 times over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and James Gunn this is another project he's not really interested in, and therefore it's in his Elseworld pocket with the Batman.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mhm.
but no, I'm going to go with Adrian. Don't make one at all.
Just don't. Sometimes the right answer is do nothing.
Yep. But
And
I mean,
hopefully
I
this
just
isn't
saw
true.
that as a wow, really? That's just a weird choice. Not
The
much to
thing
talk about with
Gunn
that,
for
to be
me
honest.
too-
What
The
was
thing
that?
about Gunn to me, the thing about Gunn for me too is I truly think he is a comic book fan.
Daniel?
Like, I don't think no, Gunn, James Gunn.
I think he is.
I
Yeah.
think he's a real comic book fan. So the choices he makes are just strange to me.
Well, I think the problem with James is his ego.
You're probably right. He does have a big ego, from what I can see.
Obviously, and this is a
I
problem.
mean, probably anybody that came out of the trauma camp has a big ego.
And I thought that's the reason why they put that other guy with him, the co-boss, to
Yeah.
kind of check that ego. But he hasn't made a peep, dude. We haven't heard a damn thing from him at all. It's all James Gunn all day, right? So,
Yep.
I don't know what they were thinking. But then again, we know that Warner Brothers is, Discovery Warner Brothers, is in this constant state of trying to sell it, and it's like, well, either get shit or get off the pot, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
sell it or don't. But they're in this limbo, right?
I think what keeps happening is they keep getting lowballed, or what they believe is lowballed. They probably think they're worth a lot more than they are, and history has proven over the last decade that they're not worth as much as they think. Now they might be in the hands of somebody competent. They would be, but as of this moment, they're not. And a lot of them, a lot of people in that company are clearly, I mean, obviously, look at the shit they put out. Clearly delusional.
Yeah.
And
Well,
they
maybe
think that,
Elon will
this is
threaten to buy it, and they'll sell quickly.
Well, he's already been threatening to buy MSNBC.
He's just trying to piss people off, dude.
I hope he
He's
does.
trolling.
What was DC's last successful movie? How many years ago was that?
The first Aquaman movie, I think.
And that movie sucked, dude.
Well,
That
technically,
movie
the first Joker was really successful. It made tons of money.
And that was DC Light, because they just slapped a chuckle onto that movie.
And Batman. We're completely forgetting Batman because it's so different from everything else they've put out that, Matt Reeves' Batman made a lot of money, and obviously this Penguin show. But again, it's because they're not touching it, right? They're completely hands off of it. Yeah,
Right.
it's not them doing it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, let's move on from this. And I just saw this and was like, what? Anyway, let's take a look here. So, we do have our box office. I don't think there's a lot to talk about here today. I do want to get into look what's coming up next year. But we did have a few things
Wicked,
drop.
damn.
Wicked made some little bit of money, but do keep in mind this is a $300+ million project, and that's not including. We're looking at $500 million here. They are not making their money back. These idiots spending way too much money. But like we said here, there's some kind of racket going on. Gladiator has
laundering.
bombed. This is another $310 million project.
Good.
That is bombed horribly, and I haven't heard one critic say anything good about it.
Yeah, good. Screw that movie.
Yeah,
Didn't
I've
exist.
heard mixed things from people that went and watched it.
It's just
The only
a
movies I've seen
money grab. What?
I've heard
Yeah, the
people
only-
say. Oh, go ahead, Ether.
The only good movies I hear about from normal people is Wicked and Red One. And of course the Wild Robot, but that's it.
Well,
Yeah.
the best critic response for Wicked I saw was, "It doesn't suck."
It does
So-
not suck.
Okay.
I've seen that too.
And Red One is getting mixed. It's paint by numbers Hollywood, but people are also like,
A
well,
lot of
it's just
mixed
stupid
reviews.
popcorn fun. Yeah, and very mixed.
It's just a fun rock movie,
Yeah,
I've-
and that's
I've-
fine.
I've known a couple people that I know have went to see the Gladiator movie, and some of them liked it, some of them didn't. Most of them said we could have just called it something else and not called it Gladiator.
Yeah. No,
That's what they
it's-
should have done.
Yeah. Well, the problem is,
Yeah.
if you're going to make another movie, your lead character needs to be on par with Russell Crowe in his prime.
Which,
Well, that's
good
why
luck,
they shouldn't have named it Gladiator in the first place. But
'cause
that's the problem because you're comparing to Russell Crowe, right? And the
Right.
prime
Gladiator
Russell Crowe. You
Prime
have to
Russell.
understand. I say this all the
Prime
time.
Russell Crowe.
Prime Russell Crowe might be the greatest actor of all time.
He's pretty darn
He-
close. I
He
would
was
agree with you.
the run he went on for 5-6 years there is never going to be touched again, ever. It's just not. It was an unbelievable run, and he did it while things like The Lord of the Rings was coming out.
Right.
Like we go back and look at his filmography from '99 to like 2005, 6ish. Whenever that Robin Hood movie that he was the star of came out, which was bombed
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
didn't
but
make
it
a
was
lot
a
of
good
money.
movie, though.
It's a
It was a good
fantastic
movie,
movie,
though.
but that was kind of the end of the Russell Crowe
It
era.
was.
It was. Yeah. Yeah.
But up until then, he was untouchable. He could just put. He
Yeah.
was. I'll take an Oscar now. Just whatever he wanted. He was just printing them. He was so good, and he earned them. He was fantastic in the first Gladiator. That scene where he finds his son and his wife crucified and burned is
Oh my
some of the best
goodness.
acting I've ever seen. And it's
So
just.
good.
I don't know how you can watch that and not immediately almost tear up. It's brutal. It's
Yeah.
And this is
brutally
exactly
real.
why they shouldn't have called this movie
Yes.
Gladiator 2, because
That's
we're
my
talking
point.
about the first Gladiator and not this movie.
That's right.
That's my
We are.
point.
You're right.
What Chester
Um,
said is absolutely correct. If you're going to make a sequel without Russell, which of course you are, because he's old now, um,
and
you
dead.
need somebody who has that level of talent as Prime Russell Crowe,
Mhm.
and that person doesn't exist.
Well, the guy
right
they
now.
chose is actually charisma less.
He's a charisma vacuum.
He's a vacuum of it. And of course, speaking about that, during that era is also when we got the best Russell Crowe movie of all time, Master and Commander.
Yep.
I was getting
That
ready to say
Yep.
Master and Commander.
One of the best movies ever
wow.
made with no women in it.
Well, that wasn't the point, but yeah, okay, fine. Well, it wasn't the point, right? That wasn't the
Well,
point
and
of it.
he was in A Beautiful Mind. That
Yep.
movie was
Yep.
fantastic.
Cinderella Man. There
Cinderella
was just
Man.
a litany of movies in a row that he just was printing awards for, and it was ridiculous. The
Pretend to
performances.
Pretend to Yuma
Oh,
was
that was
really
a great
good.
remake. Yeah.
When they still knew how to make good remakes, through
Yeah,
Cindy Yuma.
exactly.
No, and each one of those characters is radically different from the other.
Radically different.
Yeah.
Radically different.
Yeah.
He goes from a full-on warrior to general warrior to a captain of a ship, a commander. He goes into, let's see, the boxer, who is just a
Retard.
working man boxer, who's right, basically an idiot. And then he goes to one of the smartest men to ever live, who's also completely insane
Broken.
and
Yeah.
schizophrenic. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just crazy, bro.
It
One
is.
of my favorite
Russell Crowe.
films. I forgot he's in one of my favorite films, L.A. Confidential.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
that's such a good movie too.
It's
Yeah, no,
so
Russell's
good.
such a banger, dude. But whatever, it's not going to make its money back, and neither is Wicked. And of course, it seems like it's watchable, but all the controversy and nonsense and race baiting, it's going to hurt the movie. But anyway, let's move on to what I really want to talk about to finish out today: the upcoming movies of 2025. Now,
There's the first one right there. I'm looking forward to.
I
right
saw the
there.
trailer,
Mhm.
and it looks
Mhm.
interesting.
It does, and I like the fact that they're talking. Tom's talking to the audience.
Yeah.
Right at the end of that trailer, and he says, "Just what's he say? I need you to trust me just one more time," or something like that. And he's looking basically down the camera. He's not, but he basically is. And that's
Yeah.
clearly them talking to the audience. Just give me one more
Right.
time, guys. And it looks good. I think it looks really. I liked the first one. It was fine. I thought it was great. It's not a great movie, but I thought it was exactly what it needed to be. It's a fun popcorn movie. And yeah, you got okay, Tom. I'll give you one more time. I'll
Yeah,
trust you
and
one more time.
this is the last one, so
Yes,
I'm
this
sure
is
it will
it.
pull a lot of people. But anyway, yeah, that I'll certainly probably watch that. Although I haven't. Yeah, no, I'll watch it. Number 2 here, Avatar: Fire and Ice, a sequel of that absolutely abysmal M. Night Shyamalan movie.
That
It's being
made
directed by James Cameron, and it stars
Yep.
Zoe Saldana, Kate Winslet, and Jimene
Oh,
Clement.
it's not the sequel to the Shyamalan movie. It's the Avatar movies, Chester. It's James Cameron's baby.
No, I got my own world I live in. Thank you.
No,
No,
I
what's
didn't even
sad
see
is
the
that
second one so past.
I don't know anybody who saw the second one. It still made $2 billion. Who the hell's going to this movie?
I don't know. I didn't watch it either.
I know people who went and saw it, but I
People
didn't
that
like
don't live in reality.
Avatar and could care less about any Avatar.
Yeah, I don't care about it. Yeah. And it's interesting. The entire cast is female. Sweet. That's what we need. Thunderbolts.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thunderbolts
wait till
without
that
the main character
Amy.
of Thunderbolts.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Not interested.
Not interested at all. Jurassic World Rebirth. It's got Scarlett Johansson in it. It doesn't have your boy though, Chris Pratt, in it.
Well, it ain't gonna make any money then.
Yeah, 5 years post Jurassic World Dominion, and expedition braves isolated equatorial regions to extract DNA from 3 massive prehistoric creatures for a groundbreaking medical breakthrough. I'm sure it's going to be genius.
Just stupid. Just stop. Just stop.
Yep. More crap.
Especially without Chris Pratt in it. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that just sounds boring.
How absolutely terrified are you for this Fantastic Four movie?
It's going to be bad. It's going to be
I don't give a
really,
shit about
really
it.
bad.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be so
The only
bad.
reason I might watch it is to laugh at it, because it's gonna be bad. The fact that freaking Pedro is
Can't stand
everybody
Pedro.
knows that's just everybody with any sense knows that's a terrible, terrible, terrible casting.
Yeah.
Terrible
Like
cat.
Tyler Rose.
A frumpy little Mexican or whatever he is gonna be
Well,
Reed Richards.
Yeah, but the best thing he ever
Mhm.
did, he hardly spoke at all. Perfect.
Yes.
And we didn't get
Right.
to see his face. We couldn't see who he was, and he didn't speak. Perfect. This is the best Pedro Pascal role you could possibly have. James Gunn's Superman. Yep.
Mm.
We'll see. Boy, you're going to be on. That's the altar you're going to die on, possibly, or survive on. We'll see. Captain America: Brave World, Brave New World. Yeah, whatever. I don't care.
No. After
Disney
the
Snow White. Screw off.
no.
You see the trailer for Snow White? It dropped on leaks. They dropped it in the Wicked during the Wicked
Yeah, it's got
film.
Gal Gadot. They show her off as the evil queen, the Maleficent, I guess.
Oh well, and
The
they
fact
showed the
that-
dwarfs too, and they look terrible.
hmm
The fact that Brave New World still isn't out is hilarious.
Yeah, it should have been out a year or more ago.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael, what do we need more Michael Jackson documentaries? I mean, come on, guys.
They make money.
Constantine 2. Oh, dude, I'm so
Keanu's
concerned
coming
about
back
this.
for it.
He
He is
is,
coming
and I
back
hope
for it.
it's good. But keep in mind, he came back for Bill and Ted as well.
He also did the
Yeah, I'm
Matrix
gonna be mixed on that
4,
one.
Yeah.
and that was a bad choice. The Matrix
Yeah.
4.
We got
Yep.
Jeff Bridges coming back for Tron Ares. I actually like the reboot.
Baby.
Any continuation?
Yeah, I
This
did
is
too.
it connected to the last one, right?
It is. It is. It's got Jeff Bridges in it, of course. And it's
But
got.
that's
You didn't
but it
like it?
doesn't have the 2 other characters from the last one.
No, I don't. I guess not. A highly sophisticated program, Ares is sent from the digital world into the real world on a dangerous mission. So we got a new hero, and because we know they can come into the real world now. The digital could become flesh.
Right after the
Yeah.
after Legacy. No,
yeah,
I
yeah.
love Legacy.
Yeah.
Legacy's up there is not one of my favorite films, but it's up there is like pretty high up there. I went and saw that in theaters when it came out.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was good. Of course,
I
I
play
love
the
Jeff
soundtrack.
Bridges. So.
I play the soundtrack to that movie all the time.
SpongeBob, whatever. Kids are going to enjoy it. The Smurfs movie. Didn't we
Clancy
already have a
Brown.
Smurfs movie?
We did.
Yeah.
Kurt Russell's
Uh-oh.
in it, though. Uh-oh.
Wait a minute.
Oh,
They're
dude.
making another Zootopia? Wait a minute.
Yeah,
They are.
SpongeBob it has Clancy Brown in it too.
Of course. Well, he's
I'm
Mr.
going to
Krabs.
point out that Zootopia is the most accidentally anti-Semitic movie ever made, and that's all I'll say. The first one. And I'm surprised they're making a
Is
second
it?
one with the way the right wing has memed it. Yeah. You remember the
Yeah,
the storyline of Zootopia?
Barely.
I thought
I'm just gonna leave it there. I'll let that marinate for everybody.
this one will probably fix that. This one will probably try to fix that problem.
What was anti-Semitic about it?
Oh, boy.
Chester, you're really gonna make me explain it and get the channel kicked off, aren't
Yeah.
you? You're gonna make me go down the Zootopia rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So in Zootopia, the premise of Zootopia is that it's following these two characters, right?
You got a little bunny
And they're
rabbit
in a
who's
world-
a cop,
little-
and she's industrious, and you have a fox criminal, and they become buddies.
They become buddies. Well, what is the main conflict in this world? The main threat is that
There's
the
an
predators.
evil sheep lady that's causing the
Yes.
predators to eat
Yes, there is a
pacifistic
secret
herbivores.
society of sheep or ewes
Mhm.
who are causing the more dangerous elements of society to be dangerous again.
Yeah.
And the only thing that can stop them
Manchurian
is
Candidate thing. Yeah.
this police officer and her buddy.
Mhm.
You're gonna tell me that they're not nudge nudge wink winking at us with the fact that they're called how do you say the word? Use.
So which one is the Nazi, the fox or the bunny rabbit? I'm going to
Well,
go
it's
with
not
the
about
bunny rabbit.
it's not about being Nazis or not. It's about the fact that the goat people, the goat women, control the world secretly. Chester. That's the idea.
Go
That's
women.
the point.
Yeah.
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 That's I'm not saying it's actually anti-Semitic. I'm saying that's how it's interpreted by a lot of people
That's
on
how
the
it's
internet.
being memed a lot of times.
Yeah.
All right,
Yes.
fine. Well, we have an
Yes.
animated musical film called The Smurfs and has Kurt Russell. That's all I need to know. I don't know anything about Zootopia stuff. I remember my kids watched it. A Larry Boy Veggie Tale thing. Okay, fine. Omari.
Producer summarized
Pandora's-
it better than I did in the chat over here. He did a good job.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's actually a pretty accurate summary.
Oh, I see. Thank you, Booster. Omari, Pandora's Playground.
Okay. Whatever
Okay.
that is.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Predator
Badlands.
Badlands. Please stop.
boy.
Monte Casino. Yeah, okay. Ghost of Tsushima. They're going to make a
Wait,
movie
what?
of it.
Chad's
Sure.
making
Yeah.
that?
I
What?
guess he is.
That's the first I've heard of it.
Minecraft movie. Didn't we just have that? Dodgeball 2. Why? Naya, Legend of the Golden Dolphin. Ben 10 Project. Armor Wars. Really? Oh, this is Tony Stark's Armor Wars. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
More Disney crap. Aladdin 2. Why? The first one lost you incredible amount of money. However, Guy Ritchie's making it.
That's strange.
It is strange. Spaceless. I don't know. The Passion of
I
Christ Resurrection.
doubt Passion of the Christ 2 is coming out next year. I know he's been saying it, but I highly, highly doubt that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah. Yeah. Roosevelt. Oh, Teddy boy.
Teddy?
Martin Scorsese and Leonardo. Leonardo's going to play Teddy? Really?
He is not manly enough to play Teddy Roosevelt. Leo,
Nope.
buddy, you're not even close. You're not even close.
Yeah.
He's also too tall. Roosevelt wasn't that tall.
No.
Yeah, there was I think it was a TV
That's why
movie.
he's been gaining weight lately.
Maybe. There was a TV movie that came out way back where it starts off with the guy who played Teddy was perfect. He's very wide-eyed, very politician-esque, yay, war, glory, glory. And of course, by the end of it, he realizes that it ain't no glory in war. And then, of course, it doesn't talk about his presidency at all, other than he was the greatest president we ever had in the the last dialogue. Yeah, that was a pretty good movie, though.
Yeah.
I like the way they portrayed
Well,
Teddy.
that's
there.
the problem with old Teddy Bear is
Yeah.
his life is so there's such a dichotomy between the two eras of
Oh,
his
yeah.
life from
He was
a
jackass.
straight up
You would have hated him
straight up
before he learned.
warlord,
Yeah.
straight up
You actually
dickhead
probably-
warlord.
Would need to make like a 2-part film series.
Easily.
for
Yeah.
Easily, yeah.
Yeah.
featuring his
He's
life.
one of those people who there's people like Elon's a good example. I feel like their time stream is just different than ours, and they just accomplish shit that is unbelievable. That it would take other
Also,
people,
time travelers.
lifetimes. Yeah, takes lifetimes for other people to just do one thing that they did, and they do multiple of them. Teddy's one of those
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
When you look at his resume, it's like, what? One guy did all this? Yep,
Yeah.
he sure did.
Oh, Polish Chad here is busy, huh?
Yeah, successful.
much stuff.
He did something that people don't really do anymore. He created his own world and made money with it. Doesn't happen very much anymore.
Fair enough. John Wick, yeah.
He made a
big hit.
new legend.
He did.
John Wick.
Sherlock Holmes 3 with the same group of people. Do we really need this? Come on,
No.
folks. Do
No.
we really need this?
Probably not. The first 2 were fine.
Yeah, fine is a good word. Mad Max Wasteland. Yeah, it's going to be bullshit.
Yep.
Although
Stargate.
it
To the
might
left,
actually
to the
be,
well.
it might be actual Mad Max though.
We'll see.
Rendezvous
Hopefully.
with Rama. Okay.
Well, you say it might be actually Mad Max, but the last Mad Max titled film wasn't Mad Max. He was barely in it.
Yeah, hardly at all. Yeah. And unfortunately, Charlize Theron didn't give us a very good performance. I was shocked that I was really disappointed, actually. Team of astronauts are sent on a mission. This is an Arthur C. Clarke thing. Mission to explore a giant interstellar space station hurtling toward the sun. Rendezvous with Rama. That might be interesting.
The God Run?
It's
Is that what we're doing?
Dennis Villeneuve, dude.
Oh.
No,
Oh.
it's Dennis Villeneuve. I will give it a chance.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's based on a book, which he's pretty good at doing.
Arthur C. Clarke book, nonetheless. That's
Yeah.
big
It could
time.
be good.
How do we feel
He's
about a remake of Stargate, though?
I'm not on board. But
Really?
it's got Roland Emmerich, which all he
Mhm.
does is really bad disaster movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So how about no?
Stargate. That's a franchise that really got misused.
Yeah.
Stargate.
The TV series was great though.
Would be-
That
It
was fun.
was.
I like the TV series.
Yeah, no, I liked it too. When
need
when
another
is the
Conjuring?
Conjuring going to end? Anyone tell me when this is going to end? Because my God, how many
Um,
movies are there now?
Too
Yeah,
many.
they
Yeah,
all
well-
haven't even made up money on all of them. Some of them have been bombs.
How many of them were good?
I don't
Last
like
one, The
any.
Key, was pretty low rent, dude.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, this looks like a horror movie just by the description. During a camping trip in the Utah wilderness to heal their broken relationship. That's the beginning of 33% of all horror movies. A father and daughter must fight against a hostile extraterrestrial life form to prevent their abduction to an unknown and terrifying alien world.
Well,
Okay.
why would I watch it? You told me the whole movie right
You
there.
did. Yeah.
Now I know it's an alien. Now I know what his plan is. What am I watching this movie for?
Now, How to Train Your Dragon does have Gerard Butler, who I absolutely adore. However, Astrid has been made black because we know all those black Vikings are running around.
Yeah, lots of black Vikings.
Lots of them.
yeah.
But of course, all the kids who grew up on those shows, which would include mine, who love those characters, are going to be pissed because you're taking something they know and love and you're switching it for your stupid politic. Dead in
And
the
you know
water.
Yeah,
what's
they got
crazy?
the younger crowd now.
What's crazy is How to Train Your Dragon, the OG series of it, is phenomenal. It's
Yeah,
so
it
good.
is. My kids loved it, dude, and
Yeah.
this is going to piss them off, dude. It's going to piss them off.
My kids love the show.
It
Yep.
even had the balls to have an actual ending, an affirmative ending, right?
And a good ending at that.
Yeah,
It was
and a
actually
good
one
one.
of the better endings of a series.
So no, thank you. Ballerina, fuck off. All right, Greenland Migration sounds like a
I
documentary.
hope Trump buys Greenland this time
I hope so.
because they're not doing anything with it. It's just sitting there.
Yeah, this is like a post-apocalyptic thing where people survive in Greenland. Mickey 17. I saw a trailer for this. It's got our Batman in it, Robert Pattinson, but it's
Mhm.
also got Mark Ruffalo.
Oh boy.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
they're colonizing, huh?
that
Interesting.
director, is that the director who he did?
Go ahead.
I'm trying to think what he did. I've seen something of his.
Bong Joon-ho. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ho, I guess. But yeah, I saw the trailer for this, and it's like, you guys remember the movie The Moon, and the twist? What spoilers? The twist was that he was a clone. You know that movie?
I've heard
This
of it.
is
Yeah.
that on steroids. They just keep testing him, and he dies, and they clone him over and over and over and over, and he's number 17, and it's off the
Yeah.
reservation is what it is.
I've seen the trailer too.
Yeah.
He did Snowpiercer and Parasite.
Oh, okay. Well, those
I
two
like
movies are
Snowpiercer a
good.
lot. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
Snowpiercer a
I
lot. I've never seen
hated that
Parasite.
trailer with a passion, though, dude. I hated it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Snowpiercer, the film was really good. It was
Really good.
Yeah. Oh, look, Butt Sauce is here. Hey, Butt Sauce. Okay. The Bad Guys 2, whatever. It's more foxes.
Nobody
foxes.
cares.
Final
Final
Destination
Destination.
Bloodlines. Are you Hold on a second. Tony Todd is in this. This is his last movie. Everyone show reverence. Hands up.
Yep.
Oh,
Bye, Tony. Why is there another Final Destination
I
movie?
don't
Was anybody
know.
asking for this?
Although, to be fair, the last one actually was better than the last 25.
Yes.
I would like to
They
say
got there
something.
eventually.
I would like to say something about the Bad Guys too for a minute.
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
My kids loved the Bad Guys movie, and actually, I liked the first film too. But I saw a trailer for this today, and yeah, they're introducing a woman team in it, so we know what that's about.
So now it's the bad girls.
Oh,
I'm
great.
confused.
It's the bad girls. Or the bad gals, I guess, if they stay with naming convention.
Versing the bad guys too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's Hollywood. You can never trust it. You never know. What is this here? The Wizard Hunter. The hunt for
Evangelion
Evangelion
Crowley?
Crowley. Okay.
Oh fuck.
What the hell?
Huh?
Toby Dean Smith sounds familiar. Christopher Lambert is still alive.
Yeah.
A bounty hunter of lost masterpieces is at the end of his tasks. But one last assignment. What? That's badly written. But one last assignment
End of
by
his
a
tasks.
mysterious countess will force him to discover his dark legacy. B movie could be fun though.
When you guys were talking about Highlander, I was trying to remember one of my favorite Christopher Lambert movies and the name of it, so I looked him up to try to figure out what the name was. And I think it's funny that he's in another film. Like I like Christopher Lambert movies for the most part.
Yep. Fortress was great.
Fortress was great. The Haunted is the movie I was thinking about though.
Haunted, yeah. I don't know. It could be. I mean, it could be fun. It could be fun. Wolfman. Saw the trailer. Not even interested at all. It's like, wow, you'd really missed the point. Holy shit! Look what I'm looking at. Look what I'm looking at. Johnny English 4. Best movie of the year. I call it now. I call it now. Rowan's in his prime, baby. Huh?
Look what you're looking at underneath of that.
I know. I'm going to get to it, but I'm just rejoicing Rowan Atkinson doing more
Chester,
work.
remind me of my numerals, my Roman numerals. XI means 11.
It
right?
does. It does. You're correct. Yes.
11 Saw movies.
Yeah.
11.
And I thought the last one was the one that wrapped it all together neatly with a bow, right? Wasn't it?
Oh my god. I stopped watching after the second one, I think. Maybe the third one? Why are we still doing this to ourselves?
I think I saw like 2 or 3 of them.
No.
The first one was genius, though. The first one was genius.
First one was great. It really was.
They need to do for parody. Get Jordan Peterson to be Jigsaw, and he's actually trying to help people.
Yeah. Well, that's what Jigsaw is supposedly doing, right?
In his mind, yes, he's trying to help people love life.
But here we have Karate Kid Legends. Is this following the success of Cobra Kai? Maybe
it is, but I don't think it has anything to do with Cobra Kai, which is very strange.
I don't think
Daniel arrives in Beijing, where Mr. Han has been seeking him out. Han has a new protege, Li Fong. The two mentors must collaborate to instruct Li Fong, but it remains to be seen if their instructional approach will be compatible. So it's him and Jackie Chan. It is definitely off of Cobra Kai.
Well, I don't think it is.
Actually, they might have introduced some of this already in the recent season.
Yeah, maybe. Well, people love that Cobra Kai, dude.
I'm getting mixed messages on it because I've heard that it is, but then I've also heard that it's not. That it's just supposed to be a continuation from his movie, from Jackie Chan's movie. I don't know. Guess we'll find out.
We'll see.
I do like to see Jackie Chan in a Western film again. I love me some Jackie.
Well, Jackie supposedly retired 15 years ago, so I don't know why he's made another 20 movies since then.
He's got to be pushing 90 at this point. How old is he?
He's old.
He's up there. He's up there.
He's older than I am, so he's in his 60s.
He's way older than that. Hang on, let's look him up. Let's look up old Jackie Chan, because you got to remember he's Asian. They're superhuman. They live forever.
That's true. I just binged watched Cobra Kai's latest season, which the final episodes come out in February, I think. And it starts really slow. I wasn't really into it at first because it's very like slice of life stuff. But then the final 5 episodes is like a Kumite style martial arts tournament, and it is pretty darn good, I have to say. I don't think it beats the second season's final fight, but it's pretty darn close. Like you got like 16 teams, and they're all going at it at the end of like in the very final episode.
Now I know that my wife watches this, but I don't watch Cobra Kai, so I don't know.
I haven't watched the new thing
Not
yet,
for me.
but I hear it's it's fine. It's not the problem with that show is they had the first like 3 seasons were really good,
Really good.
and
Yeah.
they've been chasing that dragon ever since. It's
Yeah,
not that it's
well.
gotten like it's not terrible.
So
It's
a lot of
just
cocaine on the set, huh? All right.
maybe
Heroin.
they just haven't been able to get to that in my opinion they haven't been able to hit that same mark as
Yeah.
the
Oh,
first 2
definitely
seasons.
not. No.
Roger is calling for a King Sharp movie.
Oh,
They
no.
need to wrap it up for sure. Like
No,
with the Cobra Kai
you've
stuff.
missed the point, Roger. It's not. We don't need a King Sharp movie. What we need is a King Shark Polka Dot Man buddy film. That's what we need.
Yeah.
Because he was
So-
the best character in that movie by far.
Jester,
Yeah.
did you watch that Mortal Kombat movie that came out a few years ago?
The first one, yeah.
The one where they introduced a completely new character that's never existed in any video game or any piece
Yeah,
of the lore ever,
I
and then decided
saw it.
that was the main character for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only good part of it was my boy, what's his name now? Sonata? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Playing Scorpion.
Sonata.
Phenomenal because he's phenomenal in everything he does, just like he's phenomenal in Bullet Train. And yeah, it's not a good film. The OG one from the 90s is a much better film.
It was.
Just technically, it's a better film.
Yeah, with a
Another
white
Christopher
boy
Lambert
playing
movie.
Asian electric god. It was good.
Listen, he's white. He's a god. It's allowed.
It's
all right.
Look, I'm seeing a pattern with this show tonight. You just keep bringing up Lambert.
And
Yeah, no, right?
we do.
Right?
That is
I didn't
weird.
even
Keeps
plan
coming
it.
back
I
to
should
Lambert.
rename it to the Lambert experience. Although,
Yeah.
keep in mind, with the Mortal Kombat 2, we do have Carl Urban making an appearance.
As what?
I don't know. I
heck
don't
is he?
know.
Is he gonna play
but,
is he gonna
I
play
think
the Emperor? That'd
he
be
should play
interesting.
Shokan. That would be the best.
Yes,
Okay,
he should.
That would be hilarious.
Yes, he should.
But anyway, Happy Gilmore 2. No one asked for this. Are you insane? Are you
Well,
insane?
Adam is getting a paycheck, so I'm happy. That means all his boys are getting a paycheck too. Just so we're clear.
Look,
Like you want to, Adam's one of those
Okay.
guys you want to be his friend because you're getting paid just
yeah,
to
it's
be his
true.
friend.
You are
Alright.
getting paid.
Yeah,
This
you
is an absolute
wanna be his
disaster in the
friend.
making. However, look at the next one. That
Heat
is
2.
shocking. Shocking. Why would you make Heat 2? Why would you do this?
This is literally 30 years later. I don't know.
It's
That
the
is
background
so
conclusion of the major character's story. What?
Listen, it's one of this. It's the same problem Gladiator 2 had. How do you
Come on,
replace
get
the stars at that time in their career? You don't. You don't. And that's at the near the end of their careers, really. You don't. That's the problem. You can't recapture that magic because you don't have that caliber of star to do it.
Yeah, but it's also a movie that in no way needs a sequel. In no way.
No, neither did Gladiator. It was done. Story was told. It was over.
Booster
But
said,
we got
I
one."
asked for a Happy Gilmore 2. Okay, it's your fault.
Well, listen, I love
Is-
Happy Gilmore. I love that movie. That is probably his best movie, Adam Sandler. It's ridiculous, over the top, and stupid, but it's still
yeah.
probably his best like comedy movie. He's got a couple other movies that are okay, but his
I
best
like
comedy movie.
Waterboy and Little Nicky.
Easily.
I love Waterboy. There was a
Waterboy.
time in my life, Chester, where I could literally quote the entirety of Waterboy.
Yeah. You can do it.
Yes.
I've watched a
But-
lot of Waterboy.
Yeah, it is.
But I
fun.
think Happy has a really good a really good story. Like it's got a nice little story.
Yeah,
to
and
it.
it's many years later, and he's probably a master, world famous pro, and somebody comes to mess with his crown. I'm sure, assuming that I
Okay.
probably just
got,
told you
like,
the entire
2
plot. However, number 50 here, Nobody 2. We were left at the end of that movie where the two allies are riding down the road on the California coast with a van full of guns. Yep, I'm definitely down for Nobody 2. How about you guys?
I never
Yeah,
watched
fine.
the first one, I guess, so I don't know.
Yeah, I've never seen
Oh,
the full
you
season
should,
though.
dude. It's the adult version of John Wick.
Mhm.
Okay, I'll maybe check it out tonight then.
Yeah, no, it is good, but it's definitely for older people though. People
I've
that
heard
have
it's-
patience.
Yeah, I've heard it's
It
a
is-
good film. I've just never
Here's
sat
what
down
I
to
think-
watch
if I remember correctly, Booster and I described it as if you're an older guy, you're gonna love this movie
Me.
because it's gonna be like one of those I still got it type movies.
It is.
That's
Yeah.
that's basically the premise here.
Yeah. Odenkirk does a great job.
And Odenkirk does a good job, but I thought it was fine. It's just for me personally, if I'm gonna watch that movie, I'll just watch John Wick because that's basically what it is.
It did have a different vibe. The
Yeah.
second one will probably be lean much more closer to John Wick, I think.
Mhm.
But yeah, I have no problem. It was fun. I'm happy to see the second one. I'm gonna watch that way before I watch Heat 2, you dumbasses.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got here. Companion. Okay.
This is about whores.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. Animal Friends. Two animals become okay, it's a kid movie. Christy Martin biopic. We're getting thin here, boys. Getting thin. Evergreen Pines and the Fading Summer. Boy, that's Jim Carrey. He's found God now. He's a Christian now. Did you know?
Yeah, he's something now.
Yeah.
I thought he retired. That's what he kept saying. He kept threatening
I thought
us
he was
with.
out of the game too.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, but although I'm sure he was fine as Robotnik, it's kind of perfect for him.
He is great as Robotnik. There's no
Listen to
doubt.
the synopsis though of this Jim Carrey movie. A middle-aged man,
I
dude.
get-
He's way past middle age. Way past.
Yeah, he's
What are you talking about? That's like calling me middle age. Man finds himself at a strange sleepaway camp. Okay. Why is a middle-aged man at a sleepaway camp anyway? Competing against eccentric campers. He searches for his missing friend and a mystical gray beast guardian, a hidden treasure. Wow.
Okay. So he's insane. Got it.
It was perfect for him though. Yeah. Let's see here. The last draw of Jack of Hearts. Now, if this is the European Jack of Hearts series, I wonder.
I
But
think it,
yeah, have you seen that series? It's not bad.
I've heard.
Yeah, I like it. It's European though. Shot in the back and Left 4 Dead, Jack, the former top dog of a mercenary unit, returns to his old base in Odessa. Yeah, okay. To fight past wrongs and reunite with a woman he loves. But this second coming spirals even more violently. This is a Slavic language movie, and I like the first ones. I think this is the third or fourth one. Sinners. Okay, anybody from Hollywood is welcome. Okay, sounds like a horror movie. It's a horror movie.
Oh, here you go.
Twin brothers
Jester's
return to their
favorite.
hometown. Okay. Enola Holmes. Yeah, why? I so stupid.
3 of them. Third one.
Yeah, whatever. But hey, if the girls are liking it, cool, man. Good for them.
And Henry's getting paid, so I'm happy.
And
Hey,
Henry.
another one with Henry.
My daughters wanted to watch that movie. We just haven't sat down to watch it. I think she probably will like it because she loves the Sherlock Holmes books. So
Aw,
Yeah, but
Henry's
it's not
in a
Sherlock. It's their younger, dumber sister.
that's not the point. She likes mystery.
Oh, that's fine.
Yep. The next
Hall
movie is
Path.
interesting.
It's Henry Cavill. Go ahead and read
It's
the synopsis.
Henry and what appears to be some sort of love story. An unlucky in love university professor creates an elaborate questionnaire in an effort to find a wife and meets an unconventional woman who doesn't match any of his requirements but might be the perfect woman for him.
Aw.
So Henry's
Holy
in a
crap!
love
We
story.
have
How
3
the
Henry
heck
Cavill
is-
movies in a row.
I know. He's working. That's good.
He's out
And-
there. He's making money.
It's good. Yeah.
And how is Henry Cavill playing a killer unlucky in love?
Yeah, that's gonna be a stretch.
Yeah, I know. It is
Pretty
a
sure he
stretch,
doesn't
yeah.
have a problem with getting
Well,
women. I
well,
have a sneaking suspicion.
Well, it's kind of like saying that girl playing Snow White is in some way more attractive than Gal Gadot.
Or attractive at all.
Yeah.
Can we
Or
start there?
Let's
I
see.
was
In the
kidding.
Gray, another Henry Cavill, 3 in a row, as Adrian has said, resolves around 2 extraction specialists who have to designate a route of escape for a senior female negotiator. Yeah, okay. We just saw Chris Pratt do a movie like this. We saw Chris Hemsworth.
And it's a
do
Guy
movie
Ritchie
like this.
movie.
And it's Guy Ritchie, who's phenomenally.
Is that a
fun.
second Guy Ritchie movie?
Yeah.
It is. It is. It
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
They must
I'll
like
give
each
Guy
other.
Ritchie a chance.
Maybe. Well, I mean, Guy
I haven't watched
makes
that
fun
other
movies,
one. I need
dude. He
to.
makes fun movies.
I haven't watched the other one. I need to, but that fucker Reacher, the guy who plays Reacher, pissed me off, and that's why I didn't watch it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, he's
He shut up
unfortunately
after that, though.
just
He
shut
hasn't,
up.
as far as I can tell, he hasn't said a damn word since.
Now,
Shut his
now you
little
see
gay
me
mouth.
3. Really? Really?
Again?
Daniel
I mean,
Radcliffe.
The first one
Yeah.
was all right.
Second one, yeah, the first one was fine, but the second one was like, let's make the first one again, but more bigger booms.
The second one is we didn't need to make this film. It's just like that movie that they made. What was it called? Ocean's 11. We only needed one Ocean's 11 movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, they all
but
made
they were
money.
they
That's why
were
they made
kind of
them.
popcorny fun. Although Ocean's 8 wasn't.
No,
Right.
that was an abortion.
Yeah.
Frankenstein.
Billy Knight, dude. Al Pacino, Arnold's kids,
Mm.
Patrick Schwarzenegger, and Diana Silvers. I don't know.
Oh.
Alec Griffin Roth. I don't know this director. What the hell is this? Read this synopsis, Adrian.
Follow Alex and Emily as they go through their aspiring careers as filmmakers and an old-time memory from Alex's father, a box of unfinished scripts, and a handkerchief with the name Billy Knight.
Oh my God. Yeah, let's
Sounds
all
kinda
run
gay.
to this movie, shall we?
How about the one under it? Look at this abortion that's coming.
Twist,
Yeah,
it's
well,
his
we'll take a look at it in a second. I saw a Guy Ritchie movie that came out in the past few years recently, and it was, I feel like, his best he's ever made. It had
What's that?
Colin
Is it The
Farrell
Gentleman?
playing an Irish thug boss with the perfect attire and accent. It was amazing. Had Hugh
I think it's
Grant
The
being an
Gentleman.
absolute bastard. What was it called?
The Gentleman, isn't that The Gentleman?
Oh, dude, it was
Oh,
so
I-
banging. It was so banging.
I haven't seen that yet. It's
Yeah,
one I've not
it
got
was
to
the past
watch
few
yet.
years. It was so
Yeah,
killer, dude.
that's it. Yeah, that's The Gentleman. Yeah, it was 2019. They even made a TV series off of it because it was so popular.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. Hugh Grant, Colin Farrell. Colin. He's just been everywhere this whole time. It's like the cringy rom-com movies where the love of your life's right in front of you the whole time. That was Colin with us as
Yeah.
an actor,
Yeah.
and we all just
Oh,
took
yeah.
him for granted
We
until he
did.
put on the
We
fucking
did.
paint. He
We
put on all
did.
that gear, that shit.
I've always liked a lot of his films. I mean, I'm
Sure.
one that liked the Total Recall that he did back in when was that? Like 2000 and
It was a while ago now.
Yeah,
That's over a
honestly, they
decade ago.
shouldn't have called it Total Recall, though. Was the
It
problem?
shouldn't have,
Yeah.
but it still was good.
It was good. It was good. But yeah, I do like Guy Ritchie's movies, but that movie was so perfect, and I'm so
Wow.
happy with the new Hugh Grant. I love his second Hollywood life as
Pretty
the
interesting
asshole
to
bad
watch,
guy. He's
that's
so
for
good.
sure.
What?
He is.
Yeah, it's very interesting to watch him in
Yeah.
that role.
Yeah,
He
he's
was a great villain in the Dungeons and Dragons movie too.
Yeah,
He
he
phenomenal.
was.
He's a great villain. I mean, of course, he, in his early career was all about love because the girls thought he was sexy. But
Yeah.
anyway, let's take a look at this Guillermo del Toro Frankenstein. Now, I love Guillermo del Toro. I do.
I do
do
too.
He's
too.
gotten
He's
super
the
woke and he's become compromised without
he's the
question.
Yeah.
creepiest, ugliest
Very
man
much.
to ever live,
Mhm.
but
hmm
he can make some interesting shit.
He can. I love me some Christopher Waltz. I
do.
enjoy him as well, but I cannot
Same.
stand Mia Goth. I hate
Yeah.
this whore.
Somebody brought her up. I don't know who this girl is.
Mia Goth is a whore. Go find any movie where there's a lot of nudity and
Oh, it's
raw
her?
raunchy sex.
Oh,
That's her. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know who it is now that I looked her up.
She's just a whore.
She did all those porn movies.
I just don't
Mhm.
know why
But,
we need this Frankenstein movie. Like, what are we doing?
No.
What are we doing? Because it seems, and maybe not by this. I'm going to read the little thing. Dr. Pretorius tracks down Frankenstein's monster, who is believed to have died in a fire 40 years before, in order to continue the experiments of Dr. Victor Frankenstein.
Which is going to be Christopher Waltz is going to play Dr. Pretorius, obviously.
Right. But here's my point. As typical, and maybe this one won't, but usually when they remake or they do a spin or they do whatever with Frankenstein, they completely miss the point of the original writing.
They do.
The original book is not supposed to be that anybody in there is the hero. The monster's the monster, and he's just a monster, and Frankenstein is the villain. And one of the things that they miss often is they try and make Frankenstein, he's misunderstood, or he's this, or all the bullshit they do with villains nowadays in movies where they try to make you sympathize too much with them.
Yeah.
You miss the entire point of this. The warning, the moral of this story is we create what destroys us. Is
Yeah.
the things we
Man
obsess
has
over
gone
destroy
too
us.
far. Yeah.
Yes. And they almost never get that. Now, maybe Guillermo will, because Guillermo is very insightful. He's obviously, he's a genius at this game.
He is.
Maybe
It'll
he
be
will.
beautiful.
It'll look gorgeous, but it's just one of those things that I wish they would stop unless they know what they're working with, unless they understand the original moral argument of the work that they're aping. They shouldn't touch it. One of the reasons why the new Batman movie and the Penguin show works so well is because Mr. Reeve, for all his faults, clearly understands what makes Batman work. He gets it on a deep level. He understands
Yeah,
it
he gets it.
philosophically.
That's true.
So if you're going to do it, you have to know what you're getting into. And I don't know.
Well,
We'll see.
If we're lucky, Mia Goth's character will fall into a meat grinder in the first 5 minutes of the movie. So, did you guys see the Frankenstein where Danny Radcliffe plays Igor?
I did not get to see
Fun
that
little
yet.
movie, actually. I liked it. It was
The
from a
movie's
different
pretty good.
perspective. Yeah, it had the guy who plays Split. He played Professor Xavier. What's his name?
Oh, come on.
I can't remember.
McAvoy.
Yeah,
McAvoy.
McAvoy. I actually kind of liked it. It had a very British feel to it, which is different, right? Because usually we have a very American feel to Frankenstein, even though it's
Here he comes.
not even, American.
Here he comes.
Anyway, John Cena, your boy. Go ahead and read it. He's your boy.
Yeah, I see it. Former Navy SEAL and prisoner of war, Paul Jansen works as a corporate security consultant, but when an assignment to rescue a VIP goes wrong, he's forced to go on the run. Oh,
That
John.
could be good.
It could.
It could be.
John's a much less insufferable actor than he ever was a wrestler.
Yeah, no,
and he
that's true.
sometimes is pretty good. Some of his stuff's okay and actually pretty funny. But we will see.
Look at the next one.
See.
Look at the next one. Chris Evans, Anya, I guess, Taylor-Joy, and Salma Hayek.
Oh, Salma.
Yeah,
Interesting.
star-studded charity event. This looks like a salary movie. Turns chaotic when a radical group crashes it, seeking a mystical artifact tied to an ancient prophecy. So it's an action movie called The
A
Sacrifice.
money laundering movie, you mean?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, no, these are salary movies for sure, dude. Definitely. But people seem to like this Anya and her alien face. Anyway, The Gorge. Another Anya movie. Okay, Sigourney Weaver's in this. I thought she was dead.
No, not yet.
No.
Not yet. The Gorge, huh?
Two very dangerous young people who, why are they dangerous? Despite the corrupt and lethal world they operate in, find a soulmate in each other. So, what a horror love story? And it's going to be Anna Taylor-Joy and Sigourney Weaver, the lovers. I guarantee it. I call it now. Wake up dead. All right. Plot unknown. Sequel to Glass Onion. What the hell's that?
I don't know.
Yeah. Brad
Oh.
Pitt's in an F1 movie. What?
It's directed by Rain Johnson, though.
Oh, Roundhead Johnson. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be great.
Old Roundhead Ryan.
Brad's going to either play a coach or an aging F1 driver.
Boy, Brad. Brad is one of those guys. I can't remember where I saw it, but basically the idea is he's a character actor stuck in the body of a leading man, and I think that's true. So he's hit or miss because it really depends on what's around him, right?
Yeah.
What kind of script we have, what kind of director he has. If he has a good group around him, he'll put out magic. But if he doesn't, it's just going to be forgettable.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Booster knows. It's from the Knives Out series. No, thank you. Wake up, dead man. But
Oh.
it could be okay. Brad's usually fun, and it's got Javier Bardem in it as well, dude.
Yeah.
So it could be good.
Yeah.
What do we got? Last Breath here. It's got Woody in it. Woody Harrelson. Follows a seasoned deep sea diver as he battles the raging elements to rescue his crewmates trapped hundreds of feet below the ocean. It could be okay.
Could be
Planes,
interesting.
Trains, and Automobiles. Are you literally going to remake
Uh,
this with Kevin Hart and Will Smith? You dicks.
no.
You dicks.
This is going to
Ugh.
apparently be the moral of today's show. Don't do these things unless you have anybody who has the star power or ability of the original group. Neither of these two. Now, Will Smith at one point, maybe, definitely, but
Yeah,
not anymore.
definitely.
Have
Not anymore.
John Candy's
Yeah.
star power in that time. When that movie
No.
came out, Candy was a god. He was untouchable. And yeah. No,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I mean,
Alright.
which one's going to be
So-
John Candy? Which one's going to be Steve Martin? Will Smith, Kevin Hart. What do you think?
Will Smith will be Steve Martin, obviously.
You think?
I don't know. It's because neither
Yeah.
of them are anywhere near like
Neither
John
of them
Candy.
are either of those. Right.
Or Steve Martin, for
love-
that matter.
They don't have.
Love-
This is the problem. Neither of these actors are charming like John Candy was. That was what
Or
he
Steve
had.
Martin.
He had this. Well, Steve Martin was better as being the straight man who gets flabbergasted. He was really good at it.
Yeah, yeah.
But John Candy had this ability. He could play anything because he was just so charming.
Sweetheart.
You
Yeah, he's
wanted
sweetheart.
to root for him.
Well, he's
They
the
don't have
leader of
that.
a polka band in this movie. I mean, come on.
Exactly.
Right.
You wanted to root for him. You want to root for him as a character and as a person, and neither of these two gentlemen are like that. No one really likes Kevin Hart, and I don't know anybody who still really likes Will Smith. We all just kind of pity him. We're just kind of like, oh, Will,
Yeah, it
buddy,
is. Yeah.
what are you doing? What are you doing, bud?
But in no way should you remake this movie. That's a freaking that's blasphemy, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is criminal go straight movie. All right, fine. They Follow. Why would you remake this? It was only made a very short time ago. This is not an old movie.
No. Mm-mm.
I thought it was a sequel.
Well, yeah, maybe It Follows, They Follow. Oh, maybe it is. Maybe it is. Yeah.
Could be.
Begonia. Emma Stone.
Begonia.
Sounds Alicia Silverstone. Is she still alive? Two conspiracy-obsessed young men kidnap the high power CEO of a major company, convinced that she is an alien intent on destroying the planet Earth. So, men dumb comedy. All right, got it. Okay.
Got it. Done.
Eddington.
Eddington.
Pedro Pascal. Another Pedro Pascal vehicle.
Yeah. Well, pass. Oh,
Ass.
wait a minute. We might have one we don't pass on. Ryan. Our boy Ryan. But he's with Emma Stone. Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Steve Carell. It's a comedy, misadventure. Yeah.
Steve,
They decided
Steve
to do
Carell
it
is one of
so.
those guys who just can never get a beat on him. Ever since he left office over a decade ago, he's been there. He's been doing stuff, but none of it's mattered. Not at all.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
None of it's mattered. It doesn't add up to The Office for sure.
No. Oh, look, there's a Will Ferrell movie and a Reese Witherspoon together. Yeah, okay, next. Untitled M. Night Shyamalan
movie.
project. Well, the
Okay.
last one he came out with, The Trap, was basically a movie just to promote his rather unattractive daughter's singing career. Although she can sing, though. She can. I saw clips from it. She can sing. But yeah, that whole movie, he made an entire
Actually-
movie just to promote his daughter's singing career. I shit you not.
I have heard that movie's good though. I've heard from multiple people that it's a pretty good movie.
Oh, okay, but I've also heard that it's absolute shite.
Well,
Right.
I don't know.
Who
I'll
knows?
have
Who
to-
knows? It's one of those things you just have to check out yourself because
I thought
you know.
I thought the premise is really interesting, but yeah, I was like, how much of this is going to be promoting his daughter? And
No,
how much
it's
is-
all. It's all because there
Yeah.
is like 5 songs in it, and she sings the entire songs. The entire
Yeah.
song, she sings all of it. It's all about promote. So
Insane.
what is that? That's 15 minutes of your movie right there. It's just his daughter singing.
Well, that makes me not want to check it out at all
Yeah.
now.
But you know, for me, I try to watch critics who think like I do, right? Therefore, should I spend my time on it or not? But then again, sometimes I ignore them completely and go watch it and enjoy it anyway. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm,
What do you want?
mm-hmm.
But yeah, another two M. Night
Shamalama
Shyamalan
Ding
movies.
Dong movies.
Why do they keep giving this guy money? Why? He's
He
had
keeps
two
making
movies
Because
that
he
were
came
good.
out with
Two,
some good ones.
three. We'll give him three.
Movies? 3. Yeah, I'll give him
Yeah.
3.
Well, wait. Which 3?
Sixth Sense,
Mhm.
the one with Bruce Willis where he's a superhero, and Split.
Okay,
Yeah.
I agree. We're in agreement.
Yeah.
Unbreakable
I will say
is
I
phenomenal.
liked The Village at first, and then I hated The Village by the end.
Oh, it sucked, dude. It's I get
You
the
didn't like-
premise, but it didn't sell it. He didn't sell it. Is the problem.
What
didn't
did
sell
you
it.
think of the Mel Gibson one, Signs with the aliens?
Signs is good. I like
The
Signs.
cornfield.
It's got Mel
Well,
Gibson, so you're kind
Bringing
of cheating
water
a little
around
bit,
the corner.
right?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
But the premise is so stupid, though.
Yeah, it's most M. Night movies are stupid premises. Yeah.
Yeah, all of them are pretty stupid premises.
They can be, yeah, but
I mean, Unbreakable's a pretty stupid premise, but it still was a good
The-
film.
The ending line is some of Sam Jackson's best acting of his whole career, though, in Unbreakable.
Oh yeah.
They
I
called
agree
me
with
Mr.
you.
Glass. It's so good.
oh, he is good in that, yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, Signs is watchable, but the twist at the end is so stupid. It's so stupid.
But
It's hard for me to get around it, dude. It's hard for me to get around it.
That's a lot of the problems with the M. Night Shyamalan movies.
That is fair. It is fair. I just don't understand why people keep giving this guy money. I don't get it. Anyway, Vampires of the Velvet Lounge. Let's see. They're locked into a battle with a deadly foe in this twisted fairy tale. A coven of vampires struggles to come to terms with the modern world and their own mortality. Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Whatever. I don't recognize anybody here. You guys do? No? Okay. So we have an aging ex-soldier Theo meets weekly with prostitute Olga to reminisce. Okay. After Olga's murder, Theo seeks bloody revenge, attracting attention of alcoholic cop Ibora and hitman Herodes.
Yeah, it's Ron Perlman.
Herodes. Yeah, Ron Perlman.
I'll pass.
Yeah, he's insufferable too, but he can be fun though.
Oh, I used to like Ron Perlman, but I'll pass. Can
Yeah,
sufferably
no, that's fine.
bomb
Booster.
from-
Yeah, no, you're 100% right, dude. Glass, I was really hoping that movie would be cool, but they dropped the ball so bad. I mean, Glass should have been the main theme, should have been him. Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson's character, and he should have won at the end. If you wanted to pull the trifecta off with that, he should have won at the end of that. Right? You have Unbreakable, you have Split. Those are great fun. You give us those two characters. Now give us Glass, and he absolutely wins in the greatest twist of all time. You would have had a frickin' trilogy mega hit, dude.
Right. Yeah, that would have been good.
Yeah.
Maybe.
At the end, though, he got what he wanted.
Yeah, but
Maybe
The
that
world
was so
got to
stupid.
say hi to all the superhumans.
Yeah.
It was so stupid. There's a secret government group that's been around forever that murders superpower people because the world can't handle it. Dumbass. God, someone kick him in the balls. The left one first, and then the right one. All right. So stupid.
The tower.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Mysterious mermaid trapped and forgotten for years in the water tower of a small southern town.
Another mermaid movie. That's an entire genre, you know.
All the
Thorne.
water is contaminated. Great.
Yeah.
It's
how is
Thorne.
she surviving? I mean, if it's a wall tower, where is she getting food?
Well, we'll find out, I guess. But I don't know anybody in here. Anybody know any of these people?
Bella Thorne.
Well, Bella Thorne, I guess.
Who's Bella Thorne?
What was she in? I can't remember. She's got-
Exactly.
yeah, she's.
Is she a
I'm
hottie?
saying her. Didn't she have an OnlyFans page for a while?
Probably.
Most of them seem to.
Sounds like a porn star name.
It does. A synesthetic woman who can hear colors uncovers sinister secrets in the color design industry after being recruited by a cult-like company. Now that it's called Palette. That sounds ridiculous, but that also sounds like a movie that could be it turned out to be super cool. Like you remember that movie Perfume?
Yeah.
Weird premise, but that was so good, man.
Good movie.
Yeah. Anyway, they're looking up Bella Thorne. I don't know who she is. Anne Hathaway. She's still alive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound
She
interesting
is.
at all. Once Upon a Zodiac with Jackie Chan. New Police Story with Jackie Chan. He retired real good. He did. The Legend of Ochi. Okay.
Chester, the real question with Bella Thorne is, do you like redheads? You like
Sure.
redheads?
Of course.
It's that is the real question.
Are we going to have a reveal? I
mean, if you want.
I don't
Not
know
that
if this is
impressive. I don't know.
Marty Supreme, Gwyneth Paltrow. She's a pretty good actress. Duel. Okay. Joanna Watts. I don't know these people. The Monkey.
All right.
28 years later. This is the third part of the trilogy. Megan 2.0. That movie was better than it had a right to be honest with you.
Never saw it.
This is I have to kind of stop I have to go. Halloween Aftermath. Dude, fuck off with the Halloween stuff. Please stop. Please stop.
I am currently sharing, Mr. Bugbear.
Okay, we're sharing. I need to go see what a Bella Thorne looks like. Okay. Yeah, she's a cutie. Yeah, she's cute.
She's all right.
Yeah, she's
right.
cute.
Okay.
I didn't say she's a beauty goddess. She's cute. That's good enough. Can she
She
act?
well, you know, she's a woman, so not usually.
Well, unfortunately these days, right? Unfortunately, that is so sad, but true.
Yeah.
Anyway, I do need to call it because I got to go to work, and next week we'll maybe look at the rest of that list. But yeah. But at least it's better than last year, though. So far, I'd say Thundero, because last
It
year
looks
there was
better,
like
yeah.
nothing on the list. We got a couple of them, but this looks like there's a couple fun things to watch, though.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Looks better.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I was reading something about Miss Thorne, not important. I agree with you. There's especially a few of them that look really interesting. I hope that Highlander movie does come out, and I hope it's really good. I think that's the one I'm still the most excited for by far, is the Henry Cavill Highlander.
That could be just fun popcorn. It could be. Yeah.
I think it's a great idea. I think we saw him as Geralt. He was phenomenal with a sword. He looks good with a blade in his hand. He knows how to use it. I think, unlike Mr. Lambert and I completely forgot his name, the guy from the show, Adrian Paul. I think he'll embrace. He has the physicality that even they didn't have, and I think it's just going to be.
Yeah.
I think it's
and
be
at
really
least
good,
he's
especially
British.
with that director. Yes,
especially
with that director, it'll make a lot of sense. It'll make a lot. I think you have a good. You got a nice little recipe there. You got all the ingredients that could be something really, really cool.
It could be. And he does a good job with ABCD, right? Following in line, give us a straightforward story. And he loves that kind of cosmology world building thing. He likes that. And Highlander has that in there. So, I mean, yeah, I think it could be a lot of fun. Anyway, it's really got any closing statements?
Let me think. Well, the governor of New York has decided to ban the selling of dogs and cats.
Very good.
And what else?
You're not allowed to buy cats or dogs in New York State. Perfect. Yep. Nor squirrels, by the way. No squirrels either.
What could possibly go wrong?
Why are they against dogs and cats? What's the problem with the dogs and cats?
Because puppy mills. It's like not every place gets some dogs from puppy mills. So it's another overreaction of the government of New York again.
Overreach. Yep.
Not shocked.
Overreaction. You know how the Democrats are in New York? They're insane.
Yes, I do. I lived in New York. Well aware. Yeah, that's going to be great. It's going to be great. Adrian, you got anything to share before we get out of here?
No, not really.
Any movies you're excited about?
Nosferatu.
Oh God, yeah, but that's
I'm
coming out this
wanting
year.
to go see that.
Yeah.
That comes out this year.
Yeah.
Next year, I would say Mission Impossible, but I'm not caught up on that series. I'm sure it'll be great, but I'm still have yet to see the last two films on that
You should
series.
definitely
Yeah, they're just
rectify that.
fun action movies, dude. The best one in the series, it's got to be the one with the Hoffman in it.
Yeah. Well, he's
Yeah.
he's in two of them, I think, but the one where he's
I
the
was
main
over
Ends in
my
China.
buddy's house
Yeah.
earlier today, and he had that Alex Cross show on that Prime has been advertising.
What's that about?
And it's like a cop detective type thing. He's trying to track down a serial killer, but the serial killer is capturing other people that look like other serial killers and turning them into them. It's an interesting premise, but we were like hanging out, so we were kind of paying attention and kind of not paying attention. So, but it was enough that I was like, I might actually like sit down and try to watch this show and see
What's it
what
called?
it's like. It's the Alex Cross show. It's Cross. The name of the show is Cross, but it's about
Cross.
Alex Cross.
I don't know who Alex Cross is, but okay.
I think it's a James Patterson character. I'm not sure.
Okay. Hi, Maple Cheek. I'm glad you're here, but we're leaving. Take us out of here, dude.
Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. I'm going to do one I haven't done in a while, and it's one that I think is apt. The wicked can pretend to virtue, but the virtuous never will.
That's true. Namaste. Later, everybody.
Later.
Au revoir.